What's going on, beautiful world? Welcome back to the Black Sheep Perspective. Today is Sunday. The date is Friday the 13th, 14th, 15th. Today's the 15th. We still got a virus going around, that motherfucker. It's fucking with everybody's life right now. It's serious business, but then again, a lot of people are going too fucking crazy. Yesterday we did a show with Caballo at Caballo 305. That was one of our funnest shows. We had a fucking blast. Shout out to Caballo, aka Marcos. Gus, how you feeling?
I feel amazing.
We've had an awesome weekend. We've had an awesome week. I really feel like every fucking day of our life gets better, bro. Really, really mean that.
100%.
Today's guest, man, we got these two gentlemen here. They got a great story. We were just listening to it off camera. It's my first time meeting them. Gus is friends with one of them, but it's his first time meeting the other one. And the reason we're here today with Chris and Marvin are because they have their own podcast as well called The
Coffee Breakup.
The Coffee Breakup. And it is about
relationships and
dating,
everything in between.
Yeah, the whole shenanigans.
Well, Gus told me about it, and obviously when you if you want to get a white truck, the minute you get a white truck, you're gonna see every fucking white truck that exists, right? So being that I got into podcasts and Gus has gotten deeper into we're both getting into this podcast business and really treating it professionally. Like a fighter's gonna scout his fighter, we're gonna opponents, whatever. I want to look at other podcasts. I want to see how everybody else is doing. What are they doing? What level are we on? Are we touching topics that they're not? So on and so forth. And Gus is a shit talking animal. This guy calls shit out like nothing. So he's called out so many podcasts, and I'm not gonna say any names. Obviously, I don't want to start beef out there, but. Hey man, did you see this? And he's just sending me link after link after link, and
that's the recruiter. That's the recruiter.
I check these podcasts out, and I'm not trying to be a dick, but I'm like, gaga. What the fuck is that? Well, damn, how could they film that? Why would they do that angle? Whatever. Mm-hmm. And then he tells me about you guys. He's like, yo, I got this. My friend, my homeboy Chris. Well, he calls you. What your last name is? Vieira, and Vieira goes by Vieira Bro on Instagram. Marv, your shit's a little bit different though. Yours is M
Schultz _ETL.
Okay, M Schultz _ETL. So I looked it up. He sent me the link to you guys' stuff, and I'm like, yo, I like this shit. These dudes know what they're doing. I like it. You guys are on to something good. You're two good-looking gentlemen. I like the topic, which is breakups and all that shit in between and whatnot. Who doesn't go through that? Yeah. You guys don't sound like two dodo heads saying fuck this bitch and these chicks ain't shit and all which is great. You guys sound like you got some head on your shoulders, and then. Boom, the plot thickens. I hear a lot more about your story. I didn't know that you wrote a book. So let's let the fans get to know you guys a little bit. Cool. Like you told us off camera, how is it that you guys met? And tell us about the friendship and how eventually it grew into this idea of a podcast.
Absolutely. I think it all started, I'm from Germany. I was born and raised in Germany. I came here when I was 16 years old.
Oh, you do not look German for nothing. You must hear that all the time.
He's a mutt.
I was wondering where Schultz came from. Like, Schultz? This motherfucker Schultz?
I'm a mutt. It's a German last name, obviously, but my dad is black. He's African-American.
Okay.
He's American, and he was in the military, so he met my mom in Germany, and
so she's German.
She's German, white German.
So you got that good mulatto in you. He just ain't black, American black and white.
I got a solid mix. Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
So I moved here when I was 16. I went to Miami Springs down here in Miami, local high school, and I met this guy.
That was probably a big wake up call.
What the Miami Springs? Hialeah.
Yeah. I didn't live in Hialeah then, but obviously the culture, Miami culture, is like nothing else in the world, And
like our own little country.
Yeah,
but you came from Germany?
Yeah, I came straight.
Damn, so you were there till the age of 16.
Till 16.
You're fluent as fucking German.
Yeah,
like
people always ask me.
And he still talks with his mom. That's how he communicates.
That's
mom,
dope. Okay,
sisters.
That is crazy. That would throw me off if I saw somebody like you speaking German.
Yeah. So every time I go to Germany to visit and stuff like that, I do get looks, and people always think I'm not German or I'm American. And I speak German. I have German passport, German citizenship, and everything.
So now I see why you say the culture shock. Of course, you could have came to anywhere in American culture shock. You came to Miami.
Yeah. So if I would have probably moved to Texas or Cali or New York, probably wouldn't have been as drastic, or maybe it would have been. But here, Miami was just, it was crazy. So it took some time to get adjusted. My sophomore year was very rough. I didn't really know anybody. I didn't really know English. I understood a good amount.
So then that was my other question. So your English wasn't even that good?
It was off.
For what it is now.
He sounds perfect English.
Yeah, he does have a slight accent.
Yeah.
On certain words, you'll catch it.
As a friend, as his friend, you know it because you've been around him. I haven't caught it
from
yet.
Back then, and the fact that he's also writing now and he's very eloquent when he writes, and with the English, it's like you would have never guessed.
Yeah,
that's crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and so I came here when I was 16. I didn't really know any English, and I didn't have any friends. People brought their friends from middle school, elementary school. I didn't have any of that. I had friends back home, and so I met him. I met Chris towards the end of my sophomore year, I think. We were like
end of sophomore, early junior.
End of sophomore. But like very like briefly, because we both played sports. I was in football. He, wrestling. He did wrestling, and so we met briefly, and then we kind of clicked at that junior year, senior year, really, to be honest.
Yeah.
And that's how we met. And
you guys are how old right now?
27, and he turns 27.
I turned 27 in like 2 weeks, a week and a half.
Nice.
So, man, it's been like 10 years now, 10, 11 years.
It was off and on, though, because we kind of had, like, I guess, gone our own separate ways. Usually that happens, like, after school. You kind of stuck with these people for so long that after that you kind of go out.
Did you guys go to any out-of-sate colleges by any chance?
He went to Texas.
I was in Texas for 2 years. I went to a small 2-year school in Navarro.
Like a JUCO.
Yeah, like a JUCO, a 2-year school. It was a great time. I met some amazing people. I left when I was 18. He actually drove. He came with me to the airport. Him and another good friend of ours. We went. They dropped me off at the airport with my dad, and so.
And you went there for football, obviously.
No. I was like a student athlete trainer.
Okay.
I wasn't a student athletic trainer. I wanted to play football. I wanted to try out, but it just wasn't. It was super competitive, and at that point, I had an injury. I broke my ankle my junior year. And I was like, you know what? Like, I don't want to continue to do this.
Listen, at the end of the day, I don't care how black you are. You got German in you. Better stick to soccer.
Yeah.
And what else?
Some tennis or
some
something.
tennis. Yeah.
Tennis or some shit.
He'd be the most swole tennis player ever.
He's always been like this.
Yeah.
Which is another reason why when he first came, everyone was like, "Who's this swole German? This black guy? Where's he from?" And it's like, "Oh, he's German."
All right. Like, I didn't get like hazed or like bullied or anything. Like, but people did make like fun of my accent. They would call me Germany, like my football coach.
Yeah, but he was so swole that like, nobody want to mess with him anyways.
Nobody like messed with me. But yeah, so
you guys started not rekindling, but just keeping contact again, started strengthening after the whole.
So the whole what ETL stands for in his Instagram handle, he has another Instagram that's called Embrace the Layover. So I don't know if you guys want to look that one up because that one is pretty much how he kind of launched this for, mostly for traveling at first.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. I love traveling.
Damn, I like that fucking name.
Embrace the Layover.
I like the name.
Oh no, you're gonna love the message behind it, and then that's his merch and stuff.
Is that Ernie?
Yeah, bro, you know him. Everybody knows this guy.
Why does it look like his stomach hurts? Like you got a tummy ache.
Hey, negative. They just tried you.
Oh my god.
So you started this but is this clothing or this is you making like a blog for?
Yeah,
so he travels all the time.
Yeah.
So he has a part time in one of in an airline. So he flies he has a benefits.
Ooh, are you using it for that connection?
Well, I fly for pretty much free,
But I'm saying, are you staying with the airline for that connection?
Oh, I mean, I'm not there for the pay. If you ask me, I'm there for the benefits. Yeah. So all these pictures you see, like, I mean, obviously not the professional ones, like the model one, but like the pictures of the
travel, the destinations.
I took all these pictures and I traveled.
That's dope, bro.
Wow, that's
Fifi.
crazy.
That's
That's Thailand, right?
Yeah, I was in Fifi Island, but I was there.
No, Fifi. That's different.
It's an island.
No, that's Thailand.
It's Thailand. Yeah.
Fifi is Thailand.
Fifi Island.
There are islands off of Thailand,
it's an island off of Thailand.
I didn't know that. Okay, that's gorgeous, man.
I
Jesus.
loved it. Yeah. So all these pictures I took. So embrace the labor pretty much means like embracing like the process. Everybody wants to get to the destination, right? In life, this isn't just travel related.
Yeah, like you think of a goal, and then that's how people
want that goal, but it's the process of getting there. Like how
almost like that Gary V thing that he's always talking about. Like, you gotta love that shit, bro. Yeah, you gotta fucking, you know what I mean? That process. That's pretty much what we're pretty much.
Right, and that's a very good imitation.
Enjoy that one.
Yeah,
like you everybody wants to go from point A to point Z, like straight, there. But it's like you have to.
There's alphabet in between.
Yeah, you have to go through the mud. Through the shit.
So when did you start this Instagram?
I started
page,
this 3-4 years ago.
You got a nice following too, bro.
That's
you got
we started talking.
It's been
14,000.5, man. That's great.
It's been 4 years. So and recently I haven't put that much energy into it because with the podcast, but I want to get more into it. And obviously travel more and put more energy into that. But I love it. I love the process. I love the grind. I love the travel.
Bro, have you even tried to fuck with any kind of sponsors with this?
Yeah, so that's
oh man, there's a lot of shit that can get thrown your way.
Yeah, not for nothing, especially the modeling part.
Bro, I mean, one, you're a good looking dude, but two, you're on point with this.
this-
You know, so
I'm pretty sure you have to have some.
if you show people that you're willing to
What?
travel
What do
and
you
you
think
put
is on
those
his phone
things
all
on
the time?
blast.
Yeah, bro, you have to have some crazy DMs. Because I'll be honest, when I put certain pictures up, I get some love. I can imagine you.
Yeah. I mean, life's
Talk-
good.
You got to send dick pics, I'm trying to tell you.
Bro, he keeps trying
Start
to convince
sending
me
dick
to do
pics.
that. I'm not. It's not me.
Yo, Caballo killed us with the whole dick pic. He says,
Says he puts a timer.
Caballo say
He puts-
he got fucking, he thinks he got not banned. What's it called? Shadow banned.
Yeah, shadow ban.
Shadow ban, which I didn't even know that
Yeah, I think somebody
was.
told me about that.
And he said it's because he thinks he sent out too many dick pics.
On Instagram.
Oh my God, he was fucking killing us, bro. We had a good one. But I really like the page, bro.
Thank you, I
You got to
appreciate
get back
it.
on
I
that,
appreciate-
man.
yeah, no, for
That's
sure.
yeah.
Yeah,
Now you
yeah.
got traveling buddy if you
No,
can do
I
it.
always
You
tell
know.
him, I was like, listen, like you have a solid page. Like make sure you keep the focus there so you can
Yeah.
really grow what it is that you believe in. So the
Absolutely.
message is, embracing the.
Are you guys trying to make apparel for the coffee breakup?
We
that's something
have
we
a
wanna
couple
get-
of
yeah.
logos designed. Right now, we're trying to really focus on the actual equipment and on the actual.
Yeah,
the-
that's-
Studio.
get the better
content.
content.
Once
yes.
we get the good
Content.
following based on the content that we have, and we start
from there,
including
yeah.
guests, and we explode.
Right.
Well, once we have a good following, we just launch out one a T-shirt.
Mm.
Everyone's gonna want to buy it because they're a fan
Yeah.
of it. So we're trying to really
100%.
focus and scale on the actual name of the brand.
So when he started doing this, I mean, obviously you always been in his life, Chris, but when he was doing this, you were helping him, pushing him. Hey man, you should do that. That's great. And then eventually,
So when I pushed this, he was the first one who liked the picture, who commented.
Yeah,
He's
he
like,
launched he
yeah.
literally uploaded it,
And
the
then he's like,
picture,
yeah.
and I DM'd him immediately. And I felt so so whenever I have someone from my hometown or someone who's younger that I grew up with,
now what? You're in Texas when you did this,
No,
No, he
this
had come
was-
back. He
Yeah,
had come
I had come back
and
already.
you guys are still in touch.
Not really because things
once
happened,
this
changes.
launched, yeah, we had stopped. We kind of just went our own separate ways.
Yeah.
But once he launched,
Somebody
this,
got pussy whipped.
No,
We'll get back to it. Go ahead.
Maybe. Who knows? No, but yeah, so he launches this, and I was like, man, like I grew up with you, and you're really doing whatever you want. Like what you want to do. This is your passion. You're going for it.
Yeah.
You're not living, by the status quo of like getting a well, I mean, he did, but he still wanted to create something on his own. So I found that so inspiring, and I wanted to be a part of the process to help him no matter what. So I bought a couple shirts. I would like his stuff. I would give him feedback on what to do on his posts and his pictures. He started focusing more like of a clothing brand, and I was like, remember the message.
Right.
The
That was a
message
big
is
thing.
enjoying.
So for
enjoying-
somebody to be giving that good of advice, because that's great advice. What is it that you know? Where is your little expertise? Where you able to somebody young? I mean, by now I'm imagining you were like 25 when you did that.
24 maybe.
So that's
25
some
when I came
pretty
out.
good sound advice there. Where do you get your?
I mean, I have a background in like I studied criminal justice in school,
Okay.
and then when I left, I got straight into banking. So which is where I have all this collection of suits. But I don't know what it is, and it kind of ties into this whole like how we started this whole relationship talk, because it's like I don't know why people ask me for things or they tell me certain things. They just feel the need to like kind of engage me with their conversations. And I've always had a different way of looking at things. So I don't know if maybe because of banking, I've met a lot of other entrepreneurs and a lot of business owners that I, feed off of what works for them. But the way of my thinking is just how can I scale? Like, what can we grow? What do we need to be in an organic growth for it to be, affect everybody?
So that definitely comes from banking.
It could be, yeah.
I mean, because you're doing that. You're trying to help people grow their accounts, do investments.
Yeah, I learn about what it is that they do, and then that's where I can then focus on what strategies we can do to kind of, explode or exploit, what it is that you need to expand. So then when I saw that, I wanted to be a supporter for him. So then all of that was going on, and then I gave him the advice of the relationship, and then that's when we came into the coffee breakup because.
So as this is going on, this advice, whenever you are in a relationship at this point.
When we rekindled, I was in a relationship. I was with an amazing woman, and this was the person I thought I would like spend the rest of my life with, have kids, get married, like that kind of thing, that way of thinking. Like I thought this was it. And I was young, I made mistakes, that I'll have to live with for the rest of my life. But like I learned from them a lot, and so he kind of after I came out with Embrace the Layover, we rekindled that friendship.
Yeah.
And throughout, like he actually met my ex. We would go out and stuff like that. And so we were together, things were fine. And then after things became rocky and, I'd, confide in him and be like, hey, listen, this is what's going on.
Yeah, I was like his lifeline. I would be in the
Yeah.
middle of work at with a meeting, and he'd call me, I saw what I'm doing, I'd go outside and I'd always be there just to give him advice, to make him see things a little bit differently. Because when you're in a relationship, you're emotionally attached and involved.
Yeah,
So
very
you
narrow.
let your
You
heart
don't
decide.
think rationally.
Yeah, your heart decides what you want to do. So that's when you're going to have that unbiased, bulletproof, straight, with no bullshit response. That's what I would give him. So then he had to balance and make the decision of, do I follow my heart or do I start thinking a little bit differently? So that's where the
Now-
advice would go to him.
I know where I get my wisdom from. I know I'm 42, so obviously I have a lot more in the game.
Sure.
But a lot of my wisdom comes from different thing of rough upbringing, so and so this, whatever it
Yeah.
is, and then putting it all together, and then boom, here you got what I pass on. What is it at this age? What did you go through? What kind of parents did you have that you're once again giving this good advice or giving advice on a relationship at that age? Because that's young,
Yeah.
but that's good advice. You know,
Yeah.
most guys would have steered you wrong. Most guys would have.
And a lot of,
Who knows
yeah.
what they would have said? Would have been a
Yeah.
multitude of things they could
And
have
a, lot,
told
and
you.
a lot of guys did. So that's why I was like, okay, like I know Christian is a very strategical, almost surgical the way he approaches things.
See, I
No,
love
I'm
that. I
serious.
love that. I think
I'm
everybody should be
serious.
like that.
I think maybe the banking gives them that,
Yeah, of
that,
course.
that strategical way of thinking
Mm-hmm.
where, okay, I bring in a problem to him and he says, okay, this is the way you have to look at it. This is what's
Yeah.
happening. This is what's going on. Either you accept it or you don't. But this is what's happening.
You know what? Even going further, criminal justice did play a role in that too.
Yeah,
because
studying the way that I handle.
yeah,
certain
because when
situations.
you learn, I took criminal justice in college as well. When you learn the process, the little in-depth details of how to come to a crime scene, how to understand how a criminal thinks, and they're different from the regular human, and blah blah blah. And so yeah, all that
you just
played
have
a
to
role.
approach certain conversations and discussions with for example, I have one of my friends that he's a consultant. So he says to his clients, you tell me what the problem is and let's identify the solution. So a lot of people, they get emotionally invested into the problem and they don't think of what's the right way to solve the problem. So that's a lot of advice that I would get also from him when a situation would come up. It's like, okay, how can we address this where you're not hurt and this person's not hurt and we can actually come to a solution that makes sense for everybody. And that was part of the process as well. It just kind of just rolled off. And again, I guess it could have been with criminal justice or banking, but everyone who's given me situations, I've had people who they've gone through divorces asking me for advice and I guided them. I've had people who just got out of relationships. I've had people who wanted to get into relationships. How can I?
And yet, at this point, you haven't been through a divorce or a bad relationship breakup where you learned from it, and that was something that you were able to apply because of your experience.
So, my parents.
Because you can be great with the gift of gab. You can be great with just, hey man, I'm just good at giving advice because I observe from the outside. So
Right. So it's a little bit of everything. I've gone through really bad relationships, and then I've learned from the patterns that they would cause. So it's like if they're doing X, Y, Z, it's because of this. And then 2 months go down the line, and then I was right. So then whenever someone comes up to me, they're like, oh, this is what's happening to me. It's like, oh, I already went through that. So it's because of that. And I'd have other people give me, they'd ask me for advice. So then I would tell them, oh, it's probably because this is happening. And then down the line, it's happening. So it's like, okay, so this is a recurring pattern. So obviously you can apply that for other people. It also depends on what the direct situation is. But usually you can kind of play around with the situations and what they mean. Like, oh, his phone's upside down, or he's going through my phone and I've never given him a reason to cheat. A lot of the times it's probably because it's a guilty conscience. The guy's the one that's cheating. So he wants to make sure if I'm getting away with it through my phone, I want to make sure that she's not getting away with it. So you just check the phone for no reason. Things like that.
Okay.
And that all came with the either experience of people telling me their stories or me doing it myself, because I used to be a piece of garbage. So then I would do a lot of things. So then now I'm like, okay, you're telling me your man is doing this. It's funny. I used to do the same thing.
Right.
So this is what's going on with you. And even with, reverse. So if the girl's doing it to the guy, because, sometimes I think that the girl's kind of worse because there's literally, they know how to.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yes.
A lot of girls there.
We'll get there.
Big misconception.
With things
I
like
love
that.
it.
So then just, with situations like that, people would just come to me and ask me for stuff. I'm literally just sitting down and then someone would turn to me and be like, why are girls so difficult? I'm like eating my food. I'm like, what do you want? They just start telling me the story and then they just start talking. And since I don't really care about their situation, I'm direct without, even if I hurt their feelings, which I've hurt his feelings so many times.
Multiple
It's
times.
because, you don't have to be nice about it. It's like, you just don't want to see the truth.
Right.
So you're trying to convince yourself.
So let's go back to those hurt feelings. So here you are in this relationship. He met her. He knew her. All this good stuff. And then what? You and homegirl start falling apart.
Yeah, we fell apart, and I would call him. I remember this one conversation. I was in the car, parked outside my house. I'm like, yo, Chris, I need you. This is what's going on. And I was like a mess emotionally, like a freaking mess. And he, I don't know if we were talking on the phone or he was texting, and he told me like big ass paragraph or whatever. He told me like straight up, and I'm like, dude, I
was on the phone. I remember. I used the example.
And I was
all
like,
the time.
dude, I was like, relax, bro. Like he heard my feeling. I'm like, yo, I
I
didn't
didn't
call you.
Yeah. I didn't call you to hurt my feelings. I was
didn't
like,
call
nah,
you
you
to
call
bitch
me for
at
the
me.
truth.
Yeah.
And if you don't like it, that's your problem.
Exactly. You have a lot of friends in your life that you call and you kind of you have an idea what they're going to tell you.
Yes, and that's why you call him, of course.
That reassure, like,
Yeah,
tell me
yeah.
what I want to hear. And he's not that one of those
I don't want to be crazy.
That's great.
Because what I'm thinking, I must be right. I need someone to answer
You don't beat around the bush. You
Exactly.
Hell nah.
It's great.
Hell nah.
Everybody listening,
That's-
apply
that's-
this. You want a
that's
better
exact-
life?
so-
Apply this.
Most people,
Wes is exactly like that. Like if there's somebody, I don't even have to ask him for the advice. He'll just give it to me. He's like, you know what? F that, man. I'm gonna tell you this straight up because nobody else wants to tell you. I'm gonna tell you, and then he'll tell me, and then I'll be like, at first, like anybody else, you get pissed or you take it wrong, and you're like, damn. And then after, I'm like, all right, yeah, he's right.
That's me. That's how I am with
But you know what's great? But that's growth. That
growth.
that he
That
does
is
that
growth.
because he does do that. And we were talking about it right before we started recording.
Yeah.
How he keeps working on him. And for anybody listening, it's not like there's anything negative about Gus, but he's working on making a better version of him. And part of that is having people like me in his life where it's like, hey, bro, I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything. I don't want to hurt your feelings, but if your feelings get rattled, it is what it is. This is coming from
No,
a
you're striking
man.
a nerve.
Yeah.
You're striking a nerve.
Yeah, because like what Marvin was saying, people really at the end of the day, 85% of people, they're not trying to get the best advice. They're trying to get the advice
What they wanna hear.
Exactly.
What-
They
They
just
want-
want to
yeah, they want
verify what they already.
reassurance.
They want reassurance.
reassurance.
That's
Tell,
it.
like, I'm about to make a bad decision. Just tell me it's the right decision.
That way, when it blows up in my face, I can blame it on all of
Yes,
us,
exactly.
not just me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yo, exactly.
It's ridiculous. but it
Nowadays,
is.
yeah, people don't ask to hear the truth. They hear what they want to hear. And so when I would turn to, and I knew Chris wasn't one of those people. So like, oftentimes I would confide in him and be like, "Listen, what's going on?" And yes, he would oftentimes or all the times tell me some stuff that I didn't want to hear, but I knew I needed to hear it. Maybe not then and there, but down the line, like the next day or the next week, I'm like, "Yes, though, this was the right decision." So I look back and I'm like, and it's crazy. Like, and I always told Chris this. Chris is a person that if he makes everything greater, like you keep him, he's like a catalyst for greatness. So you have him in your life.
It's a great compliment, bro.
Yeah, and I told him this. I told him
Very
this.
compliment.
Yeah, and you have no matter what, he makes it. He helps you grow, whether any point in your life. So since me and him kind of established that friendship, my life has been drastically improved for the better. And I don't say this lightly. Like I genuinely mean this. And so, like for me, like I've never been in a better position in my life. Emotionally, physically, mentally. And a lot of it is, obviously not all of it, but a lot of it is because of Chris.
Congrats for being there, bro. Good for you.
Thank you, bro. Because I was not too long ago, because of my breakup, I was in a very, very dark point where I dealt with depression. I dealt with things that I didn't even want to get up in the morning. So it's like for me to be where I am now, writing, my second book, writing about happiness, finding happiness. I've never been happier, and I want to be 27. I joke about how I'm old, but I feel like I'm a chapter 1. I'll be 27, but I feel like I'm a chapter 1. Like life is just starting. I'm just scratching the surface of like my possibilities and my potential, and a lot of it is because of Chris. So
that's like even with Larry was another one because one of our photographers, his name is Larry. And he told me that yesterday he was doing a shoot for his book, and he's like, "Oh, I didn't ask you to help. I asked you to come over because I wanted your insight."
Yes.
And I was like, "Okay, I guess I'll see what I can do." And then I would help him like, "Oh, let's go over here, like change this over here." And he's a photographer. I've never done photography in my life,
Right.
but I just start seeing things a little bit differently, and that applies to almost everything.
That's great.
And I don't even know why. I don't know how. I'm also very social, so I do meet a lot of people and I hang out with a lot of people. I mean, you know me from before. I would talk to everybody. There will never be a dull conversation with me. Even if I've met you for the first time, if you're willing to reciprocate, we will talk about everything.
Real quick side topic. Do you believe in and I'm not trying to go there, let's not get crazy or religious or all that, but do you believe in possibility of past lives or no?
I believe.
If not, I'm just wondering.
I believe that there's like a greater purpose. But I don't have a direct answer. Like if I'm like heaven and hell and stuff like that, I don't.
I just mean because I know that there's just a lot of support. Let's call it that. There's a lot of support behind people, especially young people. That's when you can really figure it out. But somebody older, then you can't really figure it out. But when it's somebody who's 5 years old, and they have the knowledge and the wisdom and the understanding of somebody who was in World War II over fucking 1862 plane or whatever the hell. That's some weird off the wall shit. How does this kid know
think I'm
this?
like reincarnated?
Well, what I was gonna say is you might have
Gandhi.
that in you. You got this gift. You have this way. It could be,
I
never
do
know.
believe in that. I feel like the soul kind of like recycles itself.
That's what
Absolutely.
I believe.
I believe
That's
in
what I believe. So that's why I was saying.
Yeah,
going to
that I do believe.
And I think sometimes you even notice it's like almost like a deja vu. Like I had this all the time where I feel like, bro, I've been here before. I've done this before. Like I've had this conversation before.
Yeah.
And I've like not even a dream. I feel like this is so vivid. This is so real. Like,
It's like a soul reincarnating
Yes,
itself.
exactly.
Where it's like it had that experience
Yes.
before. Now you're seeing it from
Right.
their old eyes. That I do.
I believe that. Yeah, 100%.
So when all this was going on, you decided to write a book.
I wrote a book, Learning How to Heal a Broken Heart, Transforming Breakdowns into Breakthroughs.
Say it one more time, a little bit slower.
Learning How to Heal a Broken Heart,
Should
transforming.
look that up too.
Yeah, you should buy it.
Order for
Buy it.
Barnes and Noble.
No, seriously.
You have an Instagram for the book or no?
No, not for the book. Just
No,
for
but he has a promoter, and if you
Yeah.
go to his page, you'll find.
Yeah,
And how long ago did you write that book?
I wrote it published October 26th I wrote the book
Last year?
Yeah,
That's
I
dope,
wrote
man.
the book in a month. I wrote every single day, 1,000 words a day.
You were
1,000
hurting.
words. I was hurting, but I was also healing.
He had an imprint of a fucking he had a pen imprint on his finger. I've been there. I used to write a lot too.
Oh,
When
yeah?
you write so much, you literally have the imprint of the pen that's on you.
Oh,
If you do this all day, if you press your finger down all day,
It's a dope.
Yeah.
I like
cover.
the book, bro.
I love the
I
cover.
like the
I was
book,
super happy
man.
with
Look
it.
at that.
Thank you, man. It meant a lot to me. This was when I got this book in the mail. That was my happiest day of my life. Like it was because this was all me. Like everything that went into it.
What's
gotta be a good
what's
feeling.
the book sitting on in that picture?
It's like
It's like a
almost
little stand,
yeah,
right?
like a pedestal, almost like.
So
like
for,
we were
for
putting a
anybody
cake on
listening,
there,
man, please go look this up. Learning How to Heal a Broken Heart by Marvin Schultz. Transforming breakdowns into breakthroughs, and it's got a very nice, clean look to the
it's
cover,
simple.
man. I
I'm
love
excited
it.
for the new
Yeah.
book now.
Whose idea was that part?
What?
Ripping the heart part out of the.
So that
book?
was like the editor.
That's cool. That's a good
that
idea.
was the editor.
That's a
That
good
was
little
dope.
idea. I
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. That's dope, man. So
It came out amazing.
how many pages was it?
It's 150 pages.
Nice. So it's not overkill.
No. The thing is now, like, and I didn't want that. I didn't write
Good.
I didn't write a novel. I didn't write a Harry Potter. People now, and it's a self help, so you can read. It's an easy read.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I read it. I read it. Yeah,
you wrote it like on a ride to Chicago.
Yeah, I flew to Chicago to visit one of my friends, and I took the book on the flight, and I read it on. It was like 3 or 4 hours.
It's a very easy read, and it's
You fucked up by not bringing one, you
I
asshole.
did.
That would have been great to have here.
But
I want to read that shit right now.
You
Like
can
that,
get- you
I'm
can get his
enticed.
new
I
book.
really want to read
get
it.
his new book.
What is let people know the name of the new book?
The new book it doesn't have a title yet. In the next couple of days, I just finished it yesterday.
TBA.
Wow, short
TBA.
time, man.
Yeah, I know. No, but
Are you allowed to tell us what it's about?
yes, it's about happiness. It's about finding happiness. I think we live in a world, and like, it's ironic because this book was the opposite of like it's how to overheal, like it's how to overcome the grief. But if you knew me and if you read this book, you know that I was like in the darkest point of my life.
Yeah.
And so, people saw me at my worst, so I was like, I want people to see me at my best.
Yeah.
This is what this book is about. This
You don't
book
want
is-
people to just know you for that. You want to
Exactly. Like people associate me with, like people look at me and
You're
they're like,
sad and-
exactly, like
Sad, broken-hearted kid.
Exactly. And that's
Yeah.
who, right now. You look at me, I've never been better. I look in the mirror.
I
love who
I feel
am.
you 100%.
Yeah, like that's not. And people try to associate me with this person till this day.
That's scary, man. There's like a lot of similarities based
Yeah,
on
man.
what
Let's
you
hang
just
out
told me
afterwards.
to-
So we'll talk.
Yeah.
Nice.
There's, like, a lot of
And it's true
similarities.
because I have people who
Told you
who
guys
hit
was
me.
gay.
It's Sunday, so not anymore.
Oh,
It
you're
starts-
right.
That's it. Tomorrow.
It starts on Friday. It starts next Friday.
I like that. Good comeback.
And it's true. I understand what he's saying because he knew me when I was going through that breakup, and I've had people on Instagram that now they could see on my Instagram that I'm signing these contracts with fights and everything's going better for me. I have people that were associated with me in my past relationship that will DM me and be like, "Oh, it's so good seeing you happy."
Right.
Like
And I'm
happiness
like-
looks good on you.
Yeah, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I've been like this for a couple months. You just haven't seen me or haven't
Yes.
talked about it. But
It's hard to see on IG pics
Yeah,
and
that's
shit
another-
like that. You're
that's
not gonna
another
see
thing.
that.
That's
you know?
another thing you were talking about because like on social media, it's almost like a highlight reel of your life.
yeah,
Yes.
Like no one really knows what you're really going through until like now you post something you're happy. It's like, oh, you're good now. It's like I've
Exactly.
been good for a while. You just haven't paid attention.
What's going on, crazy world? We are definitely going through some shit right now with this here coronavirus and all the madness going on with the elections and everything else involved. But hey, on a brighter note, you got the Black Sheep perspective to help you get by and get through it. So I really appreciate for you guys tuning in. Thank you for all the love and support. We can't get enough of giving you guys great content. But in order to do that, we got sponsors to help us pay the bills. We got sponsors to help me have a life where I can go ahead and produce this. And I want to give a big shout out to them right now, to the Driver Shop High Performance. These guys really did a great, magnificent wrap job on my truck. If you guys got a vehicle out there that you want to get a beautiful wrap on, you got a paint job wrap, you can just wrap your own logos, you can wrap any kind of advertisement. These people are the ones to go to. So Hector and company over there at the Driver Shop High Performance, thank you so much for making my truck look that much more beautiful. Huge shout out to the Yielding Seed for giving me this meal preps that I really need in my life. If you know you're pretty busy in life and there's other things that you want to do but you can't because you put in too much effort to taking care of yourself by eating healthy and prepping meals, well, why don't you give the Yielding Seed a chance? These guys got great prices and even more important, they put out awesome, dope quality food. And then a huge shout out to Game Time Management. These people have really had my back since day one. They're helping me in the podcast and everything else that I'm going through with trying to project myself in a better place in this world and in the business world. And I definitely couldn't do it with them. So Gang Time Management, if you guys need help in your corner, if you're trying to make moves in your life and you need somebody to help you get there, why don't you give Gang Time Management a ring? Thank you for supporting us, guys. Stay in tune. We got so many big things coming up, and I hope that you guys are there for the whole journey. Let's get back to the podcast. Okay, so then you have the book, all right? The book is written. Does it do great? Does it do good? What was the response? Like that's a big deal to me, bro. I think that's just dope.
So nobody and I've been blogging for years, and I would submit stuff on Dot Catalog, which is like an online newspaper, almost like for people to share their stories.
Like a forum?
Yeah, like a forum. Yeah, like a forum, but it's like legit. It's like a big thing, and so for years I tried to submit my stuff, and they will always turn me down, and they don't really say why. So this past late summer, I submitted stuff because I was heartbroken. I was write stuff to kind of help me cope with it, but I also share my experiences. And one day it's just like this, and they approved it. And bro, I was ecstatic because for years I tried to get my stuff on their platform, and they always turn me down. So that moment when they said yes, like your stuff is up, and the editor was like, "Great job," it was like an article. And that got posted. Then the second one. Did
they pay you for that or
no? They don't pay you for that. But
that's like exposure.
Yeah, it's just exposure.
Yeah, okay.
And then I created a profile. I added my social media, and I got a little bit of traction. And next thing you know, first my articles got like 20 views, 10 views, and next thing you know, one article got like 12,000 views.
Oh wow!
And so for me, that gave me that motivation to keep on writing. And people would message me, strangers from like all over, like, "Yo, this helped me." A lot of guys, especially a lot of girls, but like people were like, "Yo, don't stop writing," and that gave me that drive to keep writing. And then it's like, let me write a book. I have this story to tell. Let me write the book. Wrote the book, self-published, Amazon, Barnes and Noble, and I remember the day I announced it. Nobody really knew. I think Chris had a good idea, but really barely anybody knew, and except the team that I was working with. And I published it, and it just. People lost like their shit. They're like, "Yo, I had no idea you were right." Da da da.
That's dope.
That's awesome. And it's like it's always a dream until it happens to you. And I always say that, and I believe in that. And it's like, bro, the feedback has been tremendous. I just sold like 600 copies the other day. So it might not be as big, but for me, that's a big thing.
Yeah,
I
of course.
600 copies is a lot, dude. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I mean, he has a solid following. So it goes back to what I said a little bit earlier. Like, he had those people that really cared about who he was.
Yeah.
And that just made him fall in love even more with the kind of person that he is when he really put his heart into the book.
I'll put everything on like if you read the book, and I'll get you guys a copy.
Signed copy.
Yeah, signed copy. I make it, can sell it sometime. No, but like, you would read the book and you're like, and it's like, I really tried to be there for that person. And I would write it in a manner that as like a friend. Because I've been there. And it's like, when you're there in the middle of it, I'm sure you can resonate, or anybody in this table really can resonate. If you're in the midst of it, but you feel like there's no way out.
Yeah.
And that's how I felt, because this is a person I love. Like I wanted to spend, there's no words to describe how much this person meant to me.
Yeah.
It's when I lost her, when she moved on with somebody else, when she got engaged.
So frustrating.
Pause real quick. I want to interrupt. Obviously whoever this chick is, she knows.
At this point, I think she
Get the fuck out of here at this point. She knew right away, bro. Yeah. She knew right away. So has she said anything? Or do you even have you talked to her at all since the publishing? Since
the publishing, no. I was in Bali before the book got published, and
this guy's that. I'd be jealous if I was her. Her man better be some millionaire or something.
That's what she's thinking. Damn, I'm fucked up. And I know we're gonna get to that later because we're gonna talk about females and relationships, and that's you touched on the topic about me and my past relationship. Yeah. I know they're looking back thinking, damn, I should have held on to that motherfucker. Fuck.
And not to like go in the midst of that. I actually had a conversation with my ex where it was a little bit after where stuff was going good for me. I had just gotten a new car. I was on the process of moving out and all of that. And
that's awesome. Congrats.
Thanks. May 1st actually. I'm moving in. Yeah.
Nice.
Give these girls your address right now.
Nope.
Yeah. Tell them.
I'll give them the building.
It's got a balcony, girls. It's got a balcony.
The Marquise in downtown. That's it. So I had a conversation with her where she told me straight up. She's like, "Oh, I'm really frustrated with you." I go, "Why?" She's like, oh, because you're getting all your stuff together and you're doing a lot better when we're not together.
Yeah, this girl told me the same thing.
And I was like,
all these things.
I was like, why
It's
would
called growth, bitch. You're
Yeah.
supposed to stick around for it.
Yeah,
Like, are you kidding me?
and that has stuck with me so long because I'm like, why would somebody? Because even after we broke up, I only wanted her to get better and be better and do better. I only wanted better for her. And I'm like,
Right.
why would a person get angry or
That
frustrated?
you're doing
at someone
better.
That they're doing
Yeah,
better.
yeah, yeah.
Dead ass, man.
Like that bothered me for a while, and I don't
hurts
hold.
me just
I have
hearing
no
about it.
ill will like towards the person.
No, of
towards
course not.
No, I want her to be better. Whether she's getting married or gets married, has kids. I want her to be happy.
Yes,
I don't
yes.
ever that holding hate and being angry doesn't
that's
do
an adult.
anything
You know,
for
you
you.
mature.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
have a different
yeah,
mindset.
yeah,
Of
that's
course,
growth.
of course.
There's nothing wrong with being human and admitting that, hey, it does feel good a little bit in the corner of my brain to think, ha, I told you so.
Yes.
Or hey, I wish you the best, but guess what? You missed out on the best. You know, whatever. It
I'd
feels
be
good.
lying. I'd be lying if I said, oh no, it doesn't feel good. That I'm doing a lot better.
It is what it is. It's not the gloat, but it's a good feeling because you're accomplishing, and a lot of times the best revenge is just like killing with kindness, killing with success.
Yeah.
It's never really something direct. It's not really something negative. Breaking them down, wishing them bad. It's not that. It's not that. You know,
I'm a bit. I'm gonna say something that may be controversial. I don't think.
we're okay with controversy
Yeah,
here.
yeah. I don't think you were the best thing that ever happened to your ex, and also I don't think she was the best thing that happened to you. And same way that applies to me, and
Yeah.
same applies to you, and applies to you. But it doesn't mean like just because things didn't work out doesn't mean like they lost or you lost. It's just means you weren't right for each other.
Exactly.
Right.
And I don't take it as
That's very well said, Mark.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's
very well
I like
said.
that a lot. And I don't take it as a loss. I take it as a learning lesson.
Yes. And so
100%.
she may have not lost on you. You may,
Yeah.
and I don't think you lost out on her. If you're happy now and you're doing the things that you want to do, bro, you're winning. If she's doing what she wants to do, she's winning. Like it's
Yeah,
not a
of course.
competition. And it's like a lot of people that get out of a relationship and they're trying to find a better person. And I think you should try to be the better person.
Yeah, exactly.
And for yourself, not for somebody
100%.
else.
That's a big thing. I mean, I don't know about everybody else, but my thing was focusing because
I know.
did-
I definitely know I was the best that these two chicks could have.
You're an idiot.
I'm just
fucking
fucking.
lost.
I'm just saying.
not-
man.
That you wrote the book is amazing because I would start to read, like I was reading a lot after, like I would read books that didn't necessarily have to do a breakup. Like I read a memoir of one of my teammates that passed away. He wrote a book right before he passed away. So I read his book and he actually had lost his fiance in a car accident.
Oh, Josh.
Josh, the
Shout
man.
out to Josh.
Shout
man.
out to Josh.
Yeah.
Rest in peace. That guy's the man. He's
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
much the reason why I'm still fighting today.
Yeah.
And
Combat
I'd read
Night.
his
Shout out to
book.
Combat Night.
And just like reading stuff, that had to do with other people's breakups, that kind of helped me out where I was like, all right, it's a learning lesson. I could take the good out of what I had in that relationship and bring it into my next relationship and see it instead of always think about the bad,
Yes.
or what I'm missing. So and I definitely got to read this book.
Yeah. I'll send you guys a copy for sure.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that for
Yes,
sure. I love. I mean, I don't have the most time in the day, but I do love to read. I don't show it by reading because haven't read in a while. But I do love to read when it's good literature. I'm more into your Art of Wars and type of stuff like that. 48 Powers, things things that are gonna make me smarter. And the entertainment aspect is great, and to each his own. But I want to get a little bit smarter, a little bit better, a little bit more wiser off of anything I read.
Absolutely.
And that right there, just hearing you guys talk, for young guys, you guys got great heads on your shoulders, and I know we're gonna get deeper into the whole relationship talk and all that. So, all right, so Marv, all this happened. This girl, we're not sure if she knows yet. We think she knows, right?
Yeah.
So you write the book.
I wrote the book.
It's a nice little hit, in our opinion. It's a nice little hit. Is this when Chris jumps in and says, "Hey, man, you're on to something. Why don't we do this?" How did this transition into the podcast?
I think he probably saw it and he's like, man, I'm proud of this guy because, like I mentioned, in the dedication page, he was the last person I mentioned, and it also was for a reason. Because,
Damn, you got a shout out on the book?
Yeah, man.
You guys
I
are
had to.
fucking legit. Now that's
I've
gay.
seen. I remember seeing
I had to.
when you posted on Instagram, and you're like, "How many of your boys?"
Yeah, man.
That's
I had
awesome,
to.
yo.
I had
That's
to.
dope. That's dope. That's dope.
I didn't even expect it either. Like I had no idea until I read it, and I was like, "Wait a minute."
Right, who's this guy? No, but and I always say I wouldn't have written this book if it wasn't for him, and I truly believe that. Like nobody does it all. Like nobody does it by themselves. I don't care what book you
100%,
read or what
100%.
song you listen to.
I'm beyond over that self-made talk. I'm
Yeah,
self-made.
yeah.
You motherfucker, you
Nobody-
can't get anywhere by yourself unless you're just walking. That's it.
Exactly. Like everybody has somebody in their life that helps them become better. And Chris was that person for me in a great way. So I read the book. I wrote the book, and then I think I'm sure Chris like saw that, and he got inspired by that as well.
Well, yeah, that's how I started thinking. I was like, man, this man wrote a
Book.
He wrote a book
With my advice,
and I helped him. I'm reading the book, and I was like, I remember that.
Yes,
I remember that. So I'm like, man, I really helped this guy write a whole book, and I've been helping other people like on the side. I'm like, what can I do to make this where everyone can see and I can help out many more people?
When you thought about that, Chris, was that the banker, the entrepreneur, the I want to do bigger things in life coming out of you, or was that, you know what, I now realize, I mean, I know that I have this little talent. I know that I'm pretty good at doing this. This is the biggest reminder of it, and I think I should take my talents to the next level.
Yeah. So
was it more that?
I was always destined for more, and I think everyone has something special in them.
Yeah.
They just have to uncover it and figure out what that is.
right. Fine.
And I found myself helping all these people, and in the way that I talk and the way I communicate, and I'm very social with them. I always find a way to help some sort of issue that they're going through, no matter what it is. And I was talking about, like the photographer, Larry. He's like, oh, I don't need you to do anything or help. I just want you to stand there and like, I need your insight. I respect your point of view and how you think of things. And so, for example, I've helped him create like a strategy of how to start monetizing and create like, how can I make more money? Same thing with one of our other photographer friends. He's like, oh, I'm going to do a free photo shoot. Man, I can't do all these free photo shoots. And I was like, this isn't free. Yeah, it's free for you to meet up with them. But then, it takes me 2 weeks to edit. But in 48 hours, $50, and I'll have it done in 48 hours. Oh, I'll give you 3 free pictures. But the other 10 that I took, I'll charge you another 100 if you want the full package. So off a free photo shoot, I just made you $150.
Teach them how to upsell.
Yeah. So then that's so being able to do that, I'm like, okay, I know that I'm destined for more. What can I do differently? And I knew social media was very big. I mean, everyone's trying to get on social media and trying to make something. So one of my other friends, we tried to make like these funny skits, like these videos, but it was like 3 of us. So it was hard to really coordinate with our times.
Yeah.
So I'm like, if I'm able to help him, like I can do this whenever I want, and our schedules work. So I took him one day. I'm like, oh, like on Fiverr.com. Like, so that's where we have.
It's great for your graphic. Yeah.
So that's where we got a logo from. And I'm like, they
Did
sent
mine too, bro.
Yeah.
Shout out to Fiverr.
Yeah. So then they sent me an email saying, oh, there's a seminar for podcasting. And I was like, dude, like come with me. Let's just check it out. It's something that I think that I can do. So then I dragged them along, and we heard and we were listening or whatever. And then after that, I told them what my goal is, why I wanted to do the podcasting thing. And I was like, I want to see if I can do this for everyone. Even if it's just conversations. And I don't have to give advice to someone directly, but we could just be talking about a topic that maybe that you're going through, or that Gus is going through. So then when you come across our podcast, you're like, remember that time that I told you about this girl and you didn't want to listen to me? These 2 guys are putting out podcasts, and they're literally talking about your situation. Right. Everything that I've told you, they're saying.
Right.
So I'm not crazy. That I know I'll make sense.
Right.
So that was the goal. So then I told him, he at first was like whatever, he was doing his book and like trying to grow his own page. Until he started getting feedback off of the sales of his book and reading, and it's like, oh, like I feel so much better, and you're helping me with your book. So I'm like, if I want to help more people, and you're helping people with your book, let's come together and really make this happen. So and that's when we started getting all the equipment, and we got all the topics straight, and like we just started really doing our research to make sure that we can actually discuss any topic. And right now we're focusing. It's more almost like an episode series where like every episode we talk about a different topic, and we'll go into it, and we'll kind of go back and forth to really be a voice for each opposing party of the topic. But as time goes on, we're obviously learning, and then we'll put out a video, we'll get feedback, or we'll get comments, or we'll get other people with their own thoughts. So then we're planning on revisiting things to really like.
Let me ask you where you guys feel like you're kind of at right now. Obviously, you're this is on you. So this is all launched and took off when? The actual podcast.
February 14th on Valentine's Day. Strategically.
Yeah, I like that.
It was another idea because he was like, oh, I want to do it in January. And I was like, wait a minute. If we want to launch every Friday, Valentine's Day is on a Friday this year. I think this would be good. Like if we launch that day, it's going to be relatable with the topic.
The Black Sheep Perspective launched on Black Friday.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, great minds think alike, man. That's awesome. That's awesome. So where would you put yourself at in regards to the approach to the podcast? Are you thinking more Gary V, let's pump out a lot of content, hey, if we're feeling a certain way, hey, if the homie called us, with a certain situation and we haven't talked about that, Marv, let's get on, let's talk about that. Or are you being a little bit more strategical in regards to, like, we are, Gus and I are very, I don't want to say very picky, but we're trying to be choosy about guests, yes. We want to be selective about our guests, and content, everything. Like we were just talking, off cam and on cam. We don't I'm here the same way you like to help people. I want the podcast to enlighten the viewers, the listeners. I want them to come out of listening or viewing the podcast and say, I never knew that. That was dope.
Yes.
That was entertaining. I now know something different. I'm going to follow this fighter. I'm now going to go visit, the Coffee and Breakup. All that. I want something great to come out of it. And I don't need to just sit here and talk some shit with a bunch of homeboys about, fuck this and fuck that. And that's not our style at all.
No.
We can do that when we do that. We don't even do that on our own, really. We don't even do that off cam. But if we did, we can do that off cam. So where are you guys at with the approach in regards to what it's still new, very slightly virginic, but where do you guys think you want to go with that? What's the approach?
Well, and not too long ago, we went on this phone call with this girl who was like, "Hey, I need your advice."
And this was this live on the podcast?
This wasn't live.
No.
Not live, but you recorded it on the podcast.
No. This was off record.
Oh.
I was literally at.
By the way, that's something you guys can flirt with. Remember that.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Just take the questions on it.
No,
Yeah,
we
man.
will. This was, like very, very mature, like throughout the podcast. I think 2 weeks in.
Okay.
And so this girl wanted my opinion. She wanted his.
She went to both of us individually.
Exactly. And so
She wanted you both individually. What about together? Stop. Can I get another cup of whiskey, please? Please. Go ahead.
Actually, yes.
Yeah.
We're on E.
No, and so thank you. That time I was like, okay, we're gonna meet. I'm gonna see Chris regardless. Anyways, let's just get on the phone. And so we had like a 20, 25, 30-minute conversation with this girl.
Thank you, sir.
And then after we kind of like shared the gifs of it on social media, and I left and Chris was like posting a video. So, when people like ask us individually or whatever for input, we try to like share it on a story or like to have content out there. So I think we're like in the middle. We're still trying to figure things out, but we want to be fluent. We want to be organic. So if somebody wants to ask me a question, I'll share it on my story. He was going to share it in his story. So it's like we want to help people all the time.
Yeah, my mind's always firing away of different ideas.
Yeah. And you guys take polls on type of.
So he told me that, and I love that fucking idea. He told me that's one of the things you guys do, Twitter, right?
Yes.
You guys do Twitter polls.
He's doing it
or
more,
whatever.
Twitter.
Yeah,
Well, whether it's polls, and it's just my opinion, guys. Do your thing. I love it. You're doing good. Do your thing. But I would love to see you guys when somebody asks for a request of a topic because it's a genuine topic. Like, hey, I'm going through this right now, and you guys haven't really touched that. If you touched the topic already and whatever, brush it aside. But I remember, it all depends on the approach. The more you engage with your audience, the better.
Exactly. That's
So if you make them feel involved, you're doing great.
Like for example, so one of the questions that we each got, it was he would screenshot it to me and he sent it to me, and I was like, I got another idea. Ask her if it's cool if we use this on the story, and then we'll post like a 10-second, 15 to 30-second video of us responding to the question, and that way we can have like this whole like Ask Chris and Marv.
Right.
So yeah, my mind is
It's
always
another segment right there.
Firing
Well,
away
like
with different
you
ideas.
put that on his shirt. Ask Chris and Marv.
Yeah.
Or like
yeah.
anything, you
Yes,
can
yeah.
make that a thing.
Yeah.
So then my mind's always thinking.
Yeah, the
different
goal
ways.
should be, are you gonna leave her or not? I don't know. I gotta ask Chris and Marv.
I
I gotta ask Chris and Marv. That's
tune
it.
in.
Yeah.
Exactly. I think that's the goal. Like we want to open a discussion, but we want people to be comfortable to be like, Chris, what do you think? Marvin, what do you think?
Yeah, it's like dating now. It's becoming this more like, complicated thing when it's really like, it shouldn't be that. It's very simple. It's very, very direct. But a lot of people like to beat around the bush, or they don't want to be straight up about how they feel, what they want to do. And it's like, for example, I'll have a girl that goes up to me. She's like, I can't tell him that. He's going to think I'm crazy. And it's like, no, you are crazy.
Yeah.
So be crazy up front,
Yeah.
because if you show him you're crazy down the line, he's going to be like, whoa, who are you? I never started dating this person. Like, be crazy up front. If they go away, that person's not ready for you. Like, just be straight up. So if they can handle crazy up front, you got nothing to worry about. But now you're going to spook them about a month in, or maybe even longer. Now, what is he going to do? He's going to start thinking like, oh, I don't even know who this person is anymore, because you decided to beat around the bush up front. So that's pretty much our goal, for us to have the conversations that we can just be open about. And then we also we'll do calls on the side. Like I also had another call. Someone wanted to speak with me directly about their situations, or we'll respond to DMs about, certain things. And the more feedback we get about certain topics, if we start getting like this, like they start piling on into the buckets, we're like, okay, maybe we should target this one because we're getting a lot of feedback and a lot of questions about this same topic.
Yeah.
So
If you have good engagement from your fans, and your following, and if you gave them everybody wants to be heard.
Yeah,
It is what it is. We were talking
they want
about
their own special time. They want to feel.
IG and social media is doing as great as it is because people can be the stars, the models, the celebrities that they would never ever be through it.
Yes.
They can get the compliments, the likes, the whatevers that, give them some type of instant gratification like they never could get if it didn't exist. It just would not. You can't walk outside and have 100 and something people walk up to you and say, I like your dress. Yeah. But you can get on social media in a matter of a couple hours, boom, you can have 500 of those very same likes. So people love to be heard, to be seen. We were talking about how I'm sure multiple people, hey, man, I'd love to be on your podcast. I want to be on your podcast. And they've told us the same thing. And it's, hey, anybody listening, please don't take this the wrong way. It's not about no one's good enough to get on their podcast or our podcast. It's just at the end of the day, we have goals set. Yeah. We have a task at hand, and we keep, adjusting. And, we all know what we want to get as far as the information out there. So we're trying to be selective so that we don't put the wrong shit out there. Yeah. So if you guys ask us or them, I want to be on your podcast, let it happen naturally and organically, and it'll go.
Yeah,
but
we'll reach out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
But on that note, man, I can really see, because remember, you can always edit whatever the fuck you want out. You can always say, well, we're not going to put that one on. But if you record, if you have like a day, maybe it's a day off that you guys have. I don't know. It could be a Saturday. It could be a certain time frame. Friday night love hour, whatever the fuck. From 6 to goddamn 10 o'clock.
That came out good though.
From 6 to 10 o'clock. Guys, call in. We're gonna record it, but this isn't live, but you're recording it.
Yeah.
And I would highly suggest you get something like what we have over there, the Rodecaster Pro. That thing is awesome. That thing does magical things for you. Shout out to Rode. It'll help you out as far as what you can do with it, the capabilities, the people can call in, you can call people, it all gets recorded. It's amazing quality. There's a lot you can do with it, whether you can reach out and try to get sponsorship or you just cough up the money, it's 100% worth it. So keep that in mind. But if you did that and you just get random calls and you tell these people, hey, you got 5 minutes to tell me what the fuck you're going through. And then at that point it's over and we're going to address it and say what we say. And then, if somebody comes in there with some dumbass shit, nope, not gonna do that one.
right.
Next, that made no sense. I don't want to hear about whatever kinkiness you got going on. I'm not into getting choke fucked.
Oh my god.
That's later. Come on, we'll talk about that later. Gus, do you do that at least or no? Do you choke fuck?
Come on, man. Why do we have to start this again?
Your mom's gonna listen to this.
Do you?
My
I want to know now.
every time something off the wall gets mentioned, like yesterday, Caballo mentioned many things off the wall, and Gus would just shy away into this laugh. And I knew that I was telling my homeboy today, Doug.
Oh, he's doing it right now.
Yeah, exactly. I was telling my homeboy today, Doug. I always give Doug shout outs. He's my editor. He's one of my closest friends. I was telling him today about how the podcast went with Caballo. And I was like, dude, every time Caballo says something about periquero, I do a line and whatever, you will see Gus just start laughing like a little, he would just start shying away, just. And then as I'm talking to Caballo, we keep going, and Caballo's, he knows how to pause and talk. He's a great talker. Yeah. And he'll pause and he'll be like, and as it's quiet, I'm looking at him, I just hear, and I'm like, and I turn around, I'm like, this motherfucker's still laughing. And I'm like, he's not laughing like it was that funny. He's laughing because like, oh my God, my mom is gonna see this.
Because my mom is a huge supporter.
We're talking about
Perico. And she watches, and sometimes I'll go home, I'll go to my parents' house and I'll pass by her bedroom and I can hear the podcast. Because I know obviously my voice or Wes's voice, and I'll hear it. And then I'll ask her, I'll be like, oh, did you watch a podcast? And she'll look at me, she'll go, yeah, I'm watching it right now. I'm like, okay. Shit. And then the next day she'll be like, you shouldn't talk about the. I'm like, mom.
Yeah.
Listen, watch it, but don't give me advice.
Yeah.
Just watch it. Just watch it.
I don't understand,
She's like, people aren't going to like that. I'm like, Mom, I don't care what people like.
What can I haven't even met her yet, Gus. What's her name?
Beatrice.
Yeah, she goes by Yamin, her last name as well.
People call her Betty.
Betty,
I like that.
Betty, lighten up, please. Lighten up. It's a different era. Listen, your son.
She's so old school that
you don't even know how well your son talks about you and your husband, because I know that Gus he's very connected to his family. He's got a great relationship with his parents and his brother. He shouts out his brother a lot too, which is great. You don't hear about that often. You really don't. Unfortunately, you don't. But he also mentions that moms isn't full blown on board with everything that's going on. But hey, it's a different era. Betty, you'll see it's all gonna come to light.
Wait till she hears Ekawa yesterday was talking about eating ass.
Oh my God!
He said because he eats ass, he's immune to the coronavirus.
Yeah, I've seen that too. Like that.
Oh my goodness! But anyways, You guys got so much potential to do so many things, bro. I think it's fucking dope. I think your podcast can do so many things.
Yeah.
I mean, really, there's just
It's
you guys,
endless, yeah.
you get to have fun with it, man. That's the beauty about podcasts. And then who knows, this podcast might make a bunch of motherfuckers want to do their own podcast.
Right.
Hey, don't waste your time if you're just gonna waste time. Literally, you know, put your best foot forward and make sure you got something. Or if not, don't bother. But you guys got something good. And there's just so many different ways that you can approach it. Like very like almost TV show type, but into podcasts.
We've
I don't
thought
know.
about so many different ideas. We thought, so right now we have like almost like an episode series. Like if we wanted to revisit the same topics, then like in a few months we can have a guest
of course.
that talks about that. Or we can do it where it's like almost like this, where it's open platform of, having
Right,
conversations. So
right.
that's another thing. We thought about, eventually if we can do it, if we're that consistent, maybe someone will catch us, like you had said, like having The Rock or like Kevin Hart. Like my goal was to be like on the Ellen show.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like,
That's awesome.
you know what I mean? Like that's like when I came into it, people were like, so what's your goal? And I was like, I want to be on Ellen. Like I think that if
I like
which-
that.
which is
Yeah,
very specific, but it's still kind of general.
it's a
Like,
huge
I wanna-
platform.
I want to
It's
be.
like-
That's what I want to do. I want to be able to have like these conversations where people are uncomfortable to talk about, especially now in dating in today's day and age where again it's very complicated when it shouldn't. When we can shed light on all those things, where if we can help out that many people, where it gets that much traction, then we can just have that where everybody. Well, we can do seminars, like live seminars, or we can go be guest speakers or a host.
Yes,
A co-host or someone like they have us on like the Today Show and shit, where they're like, "Oh, you guys started this podcast or whatever. Look, you guys have all this." Like that's what it is. It's not so much about us having the attention. It's about being able to help out so many people that they want our attention.
Yeah.
to
Bro,
help.
serious XFM radio can pick you a fucking local news station. Local radio station can be like, oh, we
Let's have a
want to
guest.
try you guys out, man.
Yeah,
You guys are doing pretty good. We
Yeah.
like your topics. We like how you guys talk. Your look, your this, your that.
Yeah.
Caballo had fucking Enrique
Santos.
Santos. He did a goddamn croqueta with Caballo show.
Yeah, yeah.
And he had Enrique Santos in there, and it was a great show, and it was funny, and he did amazing video editing. I didn't know that Caballo was such a good video editor. He does his own shit, man, which is great because he saves a lot of money too. But yeah, man, I can see you guys doing that, bro. I really can.
I think that's the goal.
I think the sky's the limit, and we're just scratching the surface of like the potential. That
Yeah, and what's great is you guys talk about the stuff that people talk about, but
they
not
don't
live.
talk about.
Well, that's what he was
They won't
talking
talk about it on camera.
Yeah, especially some guys like they don't want to
especially-
show that emotional.
Especially
side.
like the whole like what you were talking about, because I've watched every episode. Like when I saw the OnlyFans, I saw it yesterday. I was like, I remember talking. I've told you about that.
Yeah,
Remember?
of course.
I have a friend of mine that she's always getting approached about doing it, and she's like, I'll never do that. It doesn't fit obviously her career line. She doesn't need to do that.
Is that
But I
right?
was like, stop.
Send me the link.
and I see it. I'm like, man, these girls make serious money.
Yeah.
dude,
Like I saw a picture of one girl on Twitter that she capped at like $2 million.
she that they would post like their balances. And
Yeah.
stuff.
And it's ridiculous. But then I thought about it, I was like, man, I'll never date a girl like that. But then it's like, if you go into a relationship, like you said, where they're already doing that,
It's different.
you have no say in it.
Yeah, like
No, but
who are-
yeah.
no, absolutely no. Go ahead.
No, but when you meet, you have to know who you are,
Yeah.
and what you're willing to put up with. And if you're thinking long
Yeah.
term, you're just like, okay, this is not somebody that I
Me
can see myself
specifically, I could never do that.
with. I couldn't do it either. So it's like
I don't feel comfortable
I'll
doing
avoid that situation altogether. So I've met some great women.
You guys
who-
just want us to leave and just keep you guys. You guys have a lot of.
no dialogue. No, but like,
Hey, Marv, when you look directly into his eyes, can you put the speaker a little bit more into your?
okay.
Because whoever's not watching the podcast, whenever Marvin's voice goes away a little bit, he's staring deeply into
No, you have no idea.
into Gus's eyes.
I
So,
hope you guys cut that. You got to look at his eyes.
oh man,
I hear you, but girls can make some serious money, but
What's up, crazy world? You got to be a little loose upstairs if you're following us. But if you're not following us, what the hell are you waiting for? Listen, go ahead, stop what you're doing, pause. You can come right back to this. I want you to subscribe. Go to YouTube. I want you to go to iTunes. I want you to go to SoundCloud. I want you to just find any platform that we're on. Follow, listen, show your love and support. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. Let's get back to the podcast.
so fellas, you guys obviously, man, we really love the hell out the podcast, the ideas, what you guys got going on, I expect big things from y'all. Straight up, you're a failure if you don't fucking hit. How about that? All right,
it'll be great.
You guys are gonna do great. So, but one of the reasons you guys are so great, one of the reasons you guys are here is because the topics you guys have, I love them, and we never talk about this shit. Gus and I will talk. individually, maybe, you know, of course, individually we'll talk about different things when it comes to relationships and females, and we have different experiences. He's on the younger, I'm on the older, but he was in a way longer relationship than I've ever been in, and so on and so forth. So I want to talk about some of these topics that you guys have had. I really want to bring that to the table, and I want to fuck with it. And it doesn't matter where it lands, who we talk about.
Yeah.
We'll be slightly respectful by not name dropping.
Sure.
If somebody wants to, you know, if somebody wants to wear the shoe because it fits, then it's on them. It is what it is, and it's on them.
Absolutely.
That's the goal.
Neither one of us have anything to hide. We're just keeping it real about stories and feelings and opinions. So let's talk about the topics. What was the first one that y'all kicked off with?
Valentine's Day.
Yeah, so it was
special.
Valentine's Day. So it really wasn't a topic, but it was just like almost like a Valentine's Day special
Like an
to
intro.
like announce
Like
what we're gonna be
easing
doing
into
and
it.
why we're gonna be doing it. And then we kind of talked a little bit of like what we thought about.
How do y'all feel about Valentine's Day itself?
Oh boy,
For me, it's just a whatever day. I don't really go for
I think it's a good day. I think and a lot of people they came at me 'cause
Like
they're
that. It's
"Who-"
different.
'cause
Okay.
it's like who cares about Valentine's Day? I'm like, man, it's like you gotta like be able to always provide and be good to whatever partner if you want to
Yes.
date someone, whatever. But I just feel like that day everybody should go a little bit over the top and really force. I'd be like, hey, you know what? Like you're my
It should
person.
be a year. It should be a year-round thing. No
Yeah.
matter
Yeah,
what.
it should be. But that day should be like, you know what? You're my person, and I want everyone else to know that you're my person. So I want you to feel special this day.
I mean-
Okay, so Chris, but what if you do that every other day? What if
Yeah.
you do that on a weekly, whatever basis? Why? And I'm literally playing devil's advocate right now.
Yeah.
Why pay extra on that day?
Yeah, everything.
Why go through extra? Book this and fucking get there early because it's a huge line, and
Yes.
and now you're paying top dollar for this and all that. If you're a good man and by the way, I do want to flip that back around. When does a woman get to take the man out on Valentine's Day? Motherfuckers, you guys want us to do all the shit.
I say that. So I actually said that on that video. And so there's two ways to look at it. One, it depends on who you're dating. Because if the girl's going to if you're always treating them to very beautiful things and very nice things, and they care about the Valentine's Day, guess what? You set the bar.
Yeah.
So if every day you're doing a lot, what are you going to do for Valentine's Day?
Set yourself up.
Yeah, because a lot of people they compare like, oh, but my girl got this at work, or my friend is going on this trip, and I know that you always take me on and stuff, but obviously it's Valentine's Day. Like, what else are you gonna do for me? So yeah, you kind of have to see who it is that you're dating and see how you want to approach that. And
That's probably the best. That's probably the best advice. It all depends on who you're dating, and
I
if
mean,
you're
and
trying to
what you're willing
accommodate
to-
them.
Or what type of relationship you're in. Like for me, for example, like throughout my whole relationship, like every month I always make, and I stole this idea from my dad.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff I've done in my relationship, you take characteristics from your father. My dad's, the relationship my parents have is like the type of relationship if I can have 10% of that, it'd be amazing. My dad's the type that he always gives my mom every month flowers, since I can remember.
I think that's mandatory. I love that.
yeah.
And
Great.
I did that in my relationship. Every single month, I bought my girl flowers, and then some months I'd give her mom and her sister flowers too, so they didn't feel left out. Because her
That's
dad
beautiful.
would never do that.
Awesome.
So comparable to Mother's Day. I do Mother's Day shit for my mom, with my mom, whenever the fuck it just comes about. Whenever our schedules allow it, it just doesn't matter. I love my mom to death. She's my best friend. All that good stuff. When Mother's Day come around, we do nothing extra. It's such a pain in the ass to do anything. It's like, yo, we're not like that. Guess
Yeah.
what? We're the opposite. We are the black sheep. We do Mother Day type shit all the time.
Yeah, you don't follow the.
We don't got now.
society.
If we want to use it as a reason to, hey, let's get together with the fam. We'll get my brothers together, this and that. Have a little barbecue, something like that. Cool. But that extra shit, for me, it doesn't work. I think Marvin is somewhere there. I get it, Chris. I really do. You're telling this person, hey, on this day, I want you to feel a little bit extra. If you have that understanding,
It depends. Yeah.
it depends who you with. If you got somebody who takes that shit to heart,
Because it's almost like
and
a
then you're gonna be with them,
comparable
then you should go that extra mile.
Yeah.
You signed up for that.
Yeah, it depends. Like I've met some great women, and when I was in a relationship with them, they would always be like, "Bro, I don't give a shit." Because when I'm in a relationship, I treat the person that I'm with exceptionally well. I love hard.
Yeah,
and
365.
and I
only
show that.
one day.
And so I'll do surprises throughout the year.
Yep.
And if I don't want Valentine's Day on the 14th, I'll do something like the week before or a month
Oh
before.
yeah,
or
we
like a
talked
month
about that.
before.
That you'll surprise them.
Well, exactly. And so and then she receives that love. She appreciates it. She's like, Valentine's Day, bro, just let's stay in, watch a movie, hang out.
Yeah.
And I'll still buy flowers, and I'll still do like a little thing, not expected, but that's what because I want. That's
Right,
what
but
I
it's
am.
almost the same thing though.
Exactly.
You're just not doing it on the actual day, but you're still doing it as a
no, but I do this throughout the year. I don't do this because it's expected of me, and so you get different results when something is expected and when something is something that you want to do?
Do you guys think that it's a stupid question? I know the answer. Do you guys think that women put way too much emphasis on this?
Yeah.
And then as far as that, on the flip side, what about guys? Do we think that guys really give 3 fucks about it for the most part, or some of them are kind of hiding it? They do want a Valentine's. They do like that part as well.
So I'm gonna also reiterate what you asked earlier. It's like, well, why don't guys get taken out? And that's another thing, because guys, they kind of feel like they're the ones. So one of my other buddies, he was the consultant that I mentioned earlier. He says that Valentine's Day is more for the woman because they want to feel wine and dine. They want to feel special, which is why there's like this like unofficial holiday that's March 14th, an exact month after Valentine's Day, called Steak and a BJ Day.
I have never heard
Never
of
heard
that.
of that? Yeah. So someone posted.
Is this for real?
Yeah, it's like
Look up.
This is fucking awesome. I
Look
never
it
knew
up.
that.
March 14th holiday. And
So
I
it
bet
just
it'll come out.
passed, and I think I got a steak. I
It's
definitely
yesterday.
didn't get the BJ.
Yeah, it was yesterday. Well, it fucked up then. But it's called Steak and a BJ. So then my friend was telling me this because it's like on Valentine's Day, the girl wants to feel special. So then a month after, the guy's the one that feels special. Like he comes home, woman's makes him a steak and provides him with a BJ. And that's like the equivalent of Valentine's Day. But if you really want to get specific to Valentine's Day, you know what? Girls should.
Oh
What did
my
I say?
gosh.
What did I
This
say?
guy is right.
What did-
Steak and BJ Day. Let's look that up really quick. So, Steak and Blowjob Day is a
satirical holiday created in the United States as a male response to Valentine's Day and celebrated a month later on March 14th.
when did that come about? Is there
Like
I don't
a
think it's-
origin.
yeah, like a birth date, you know,
Yeah.
for it. That's hilarious.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's pretty much like the response to a Valentine's Day thing.
There was a lonely motherfucker who came up with
Yeah,
that.
he's
right
like, yo,
there.
fuck Valentine's
Fuck
Day.
that shit.
I just want a steak and a BJ.
Wow, that is crazy.
That's hilarious. So everybody listening, guess what? There's a Steak and BJ Day,
Yeah, so we
motherfuckers.
missed it.
Ladies,
Yeah,
stop
we missed
fucking,
it.
stop. You're cheating us. You're cheating us, man. You're not giving us what we deserve. I think there's a crazy stigma. There's a. I have this segment. That I'm still working on it. Gus and I are working on it. Where, ladies, you guys listening right now, and then fellas, you guys can help us out with it. We want to do a segment called 21 Questions.
I like
So
it.
21 Questions, we all know what it resonates with. 50 Cent and
Yeah.
that awesome song. 21 Questions is basically a segment where we're gonna have a panel of girls, 2 to 3, homegirls, however they want. We'd like 3 to be better, make it more fun. Have a couple of drinks before we set it off to try to get that honest bug in them,
Yeah,
when
they
everybody's
want to
got.
loosen up.
Yeah, of course. When the alcohol's in you, you loosen up, you let loose a little bit more. You're less reserved. That's what alcohol does. That's why they say alcohol is truth serum, because you have less power to hold back, and that's why the truth comes out. So, and then basically we're gonna have 21 questions. These 21 questions is a poll that I did with about almost 100. I didn't do an actual
It's
100
the same
guys.
questions every time? Or?
No. I asked the guys, hey, if you had 10 questions that you wanted answers to, and you thought for sure these females under the influence, under the lights, one of them's gonna call each other out, you're gonna get the truth, what would you ask?
Okay.
And then I did an average of those answers, and I got the best 21 questions that were asked, and then we're gonna see what the girls say. So in those questions, one of them, I think there's a 2-part, but one of them is, okay, first of all, do you guys know, he knows that we talked about this, do you guys know what going Dutch is, or no?
No.
When you go on a
Dutch?
date and you go Dutch?
No, I don't.
I've heard it
Never
before.
heard that.
No, but what is it?
So that means we both split the bill.
Oh, I remember you told me this.
Okay, so I'm not positive. I imagine because it's Dutch, maybe it was some type of Netherlands tradition. I don't know, but Dutch means that. Okay, are we going Dutch? That means are we splitting it down the middle? So one of the questions is,
we actually have we recorded that episode. We haven't launched it yet, but we have
Really?
it. We
Yeah.
got it.
Recorded
Yeah,
it.
we
about
got
that
it.
right there.
We got it in the
Pace.
chamber. We got it in the chamber ready.
That was-
So I'm a little, forget about the details of the question. Here's where I think it's a huge toss up. Okay, so females want equal
rights.
Oh, brother.
right? 100% equal rights, right? And when we
Heading in
say
the right
Like you guys are the same.
equal rights is equal, split it down the line. This,
Not
this,
when
that,
it's
whatever.
convenient for you.
Exactly.
Everywhere,
Don't pull that shit on me. You guys want to work for this? I get it. I props. Do it. You should be able to have any job we do. You should be.
Absolutely.
So
Pay should be
if-
the same.
if you're a
rights,
fucking
same
soldier,
benefits.
you better bulk up and you better carry that 45-pound bag and that heavy ass gun, and you better not hold the team back. If not, guess what? You don't get that equal right. You can't do what we do on that level. But if you can handle it, great. So you make money. You got a job. I got a job. Why does the man always have to be this? I'm the one paying most of the times. I pull out the chair for you. I'm, all these, and then of course the argument when I've had these
Chivalry.
is that. Oh, but it's chivalry. Okay, well,
But now who pays? Like I don't.
Why is that?
okay, but hold on, but chivalry, can a female pull my chair out?
I mean, I've had no.
Is that not acceptable?
So I'll give props to my ex. She would sometimes on purpose, not on purpose, but
Just subconsciously.
yeah, she would open the door for me
Right.
before I would open it for her.
Okay.
Or
I
she
can
would
see
pull
that.
my chair before I would pull hers out for her.
Mm-hmm.
So there's girls that do that,
Oh, I agree,
Right,
brother.
but
Agree.
you're
And then
talking
there's-
about 1%.
Yeah, exactly.
like the
and then
1%,
there's
like, I
guys
think-
there's guys that do the opening the door still. I've always done that, and I guess that's how you're raised, or
Yeah, it's tradition.
yeah,
that's
how you're raised, what you're witness to, or what you.
So
were
but
told.
what I'm saying is, and you answered it, Chris. It is tradition, but okay. I'm not saying old ways have to die. I'm not saying old ways have to become obsolete. But
But if you're
part
gonna
of evolution is evolving.
yeah, and if
Absolutely.
you're going to be fighting for change,
Then
It goes all around.
the whole way around.
Absolutely.
The whole
Women
way
don't
around.
like that.
It-
Women don't like that.
well, why do you
I don't
think
know. But they want that. They want with great power comes great responsibility.
Spider-Man?
Yes. And a lot
you
of
need
people are
to-
not ready for that. I know girls who like, oh, it's okay for a girl to hit a guy, physically hit a guy, but a guy shouldn't be able to hit a girl. And I don't agree with. I have six sisters, and so if
you almost forgot one there.
yeah, I was like, let me think about it. I have six sisters, but like if they were to lay hands on a guy, I would say, dude, the guy could fucking knock you out.
yeah, well, like
Because you don't physically. It's never okay for somebody to put lay hands on you. Anyone.
It's a reaction.
Exactly.
It's a reaction.
But I've seen so many videos, especially on Twitter, and guys like get crucified for defending themselves. Like, oh, they're stronger, they should walk away. Even if they do walk away, they still get backlash. And at some point, bro, like a guy's gonna defend himself. Like if a girl touches me, I'll knock her the fuck out. I'm sorry. I'll try to walk away. But if a girl,
We just lost some fans.
I don't know.
This
bro.
happens every
I don't-
podcast.
I
Don't worry.
care. I'm sorry. I'm a gentleman. I would never. I don't like. I have sisters. I have mother. I love my mother to death, and I respect women the hell of it. But if a girl puts her hands on me, it's a problem.
So if
It's a problem.
I guarantee now this is how ugly this would be, right?
It's a big dude too.
For- yeah,
going
yeah.
to
Nah,
sleep.
you don't want to put your hands on me.
But you know how many people will look at you in weird ways right now because okay,
yeah.
if
this is the wrong topic of it because this is not what we'll go off on.
Yeah,
You better hope someone doesn't
no.
try to
But-
claim
but
that
then-
you
but-
domestic violence, because this right here would
but-
be used in
But then
court.
again, I don't put myself in a position where I'm with a woman who would like. I've dated women who are very respectable and they would never lay their hands on me, and I would never lay their hands on them. So it's a mutual respect,
right.
And so, and once you lose that respect, bro, you lose the relationship. I 100% believe that. So again, you put yourself in that position. If you date a woman who thinks that way, where it's okay to, if I meet a woman and she thinks it's okay to put your hands on men, but not vice versa, I wouldn't date that person. That's a red flag. That's
if
a
we
huge red flag.
saw a video that went viral, okay, without any implications on who's involved, it's just a female and a male, and all we can see is the video, no volume.
Okay.
We see what seems like a feud, a heated argument, and homegirl's all up in Buddy's face, all this whatever bullshit, might even put her hands on him, whatever. And Buddy's like, yo, just chill. And then she just winds up and bomb. Not some slap, not some little whatever.
A bomb.
Fucking bomb.
Yeah.
Okay. If that guy winds up and just reacts and hits her right back and drops her, that thing will go viral. That guy will look horrible and everything else in between. All right. Now let's switch it up. If it was a girl on girl, that'd just be a fucking cat fight.
Yes.
That'd just be two bitches acting like fools, whatever.
Right.
If it was a guy on guy, everybody'd be like, yo, that guy was in the right. That motherfucker hit him. I'm glad he hit him back. I'm glad he this, that, whatever. But when we go back to that first video, oh my God, how can he do that? That's dead ass wrong,
Double
bro.
standard. It's a double
That's dead ass wrong, man. Some of us are just taught to react. You inflict harm on me, and I have the ability
Self-defense.
to. It just is what it is.
Right.
Yeah, you don't expect a
you
woman to
kidding
hit
me?
you. You're
No.
just kind of doing it.
And then there's also, you have fighters, like a natural reaction is just a hit. Like, not to say that if a girl were to hit me, I mean, I've never been hit by a girl,
No.
but there's been times where somebody will bump into me really hard and I'll react and I'll throw my hands up. I'm like, oh, what the hell am I doing?
Yeah, second
Now, if
nature.
someone were to
Yeah.
punch me in the face, I'm going to react and I'm going to throw a punch right back. I'm not going to freeze up. I haven't been taught or practiced if you get hit, you freeze up. No.
Right.
But bomb, you get hit, you give one back.
Right, of course.
So
I mean,
Marvin, I would suggest you learn how to kick.
I do know how to
Oh,
kick.
he does.
Well, then.
No, he
If a
dabbles in the
chick
training.
hits you, kick her. Don't punch her.
No.
I don't know what's
All right,
worse.
all right.
I don't know if
You
it's
pay
gonna
for
be.
that, bro.
We're talking about
he
fighting
trains,
girls
though.
now.
No, I know.
I know it's gonna be worse because if I kick her, I'll
Yeah,
fucking-
he trains a little bit. So.
I do. Which I would actually want to like. I wanted to like come to your gym and
Oh
check it
yeah,
out.
bro. Whenever.
Sure,
You see how you let that Gus and not me, right? This shit's for real.
I call and train
This
with you
shit's
too.
for
It's just this
real.
You
connection.
would pass out.
Next time you come to the podcast, I'm gonna make sure I put the light filter that's like little
Like
little
flick-
sparkle
But
dust.
did
Yeah,
you
shit.
know? Did you notice how he decided to sit right next to Gus? All the time? Like that was like
That wasn't my option.
All right, so what's another topic? So this all started with Valentine's Day. So Valentine's Day is
So-
pretty much shit. You know, guys, you should fucking
Before
give
we
your
go
girls
into the
Valentine's
next
Day.
topic, I wrote topics down that I wanted.
Okay,
to
cool,
ask them.
cool. What you got there?
I had one that I've been thinking about a lot because I especially it's the culture here in Miami.
Yes.
It's what do you think about guys who meet a girl at a club? Do they take them serious?
Oh, that's a good one. I like that.
At a club.
I like
Do
that
you
one.
take that girl serious?
I bet you I'll be on my own island.
Like
on
if
that
you
one.
meet her, you talk to her, you get your number. Do you take that girl serious? Would you take that girl serious?
I mean, we
And it also depends, obviously, the club.
right.
Because if you meet a girl,
if
I'll
she's
take
getting
her
off
out
stage,
patio.
if she's getting off stage at
If-
BT's, no.
it's completely
she's
different.
the one, man. She's the one.
Like I'm not talking about like, oh, you meet this girl at what's that place that Richie's always at on Sundays?
Well, now he's at Racket.
Fuck out
No, in the
What
brunch.
was that? Oh, Copper Blue.
Copper
Blues.
Blues.
I like
I'm
that
not
place.
talking about that. Like that's a brunch place. That's a little different. I'm talking
Yeah.
about like
Like
Racket on a Sunday night, at Patio on a Sunday night,
What do you guys think?
Club 11 on a Sunday night.
I mean, I wouldn't judge her just because she's there.
Yeah, because
Yeah, because you're there as
Yeah,
well.
you're there
You're
too.
there as well.
Am I a piece of shit because I'm there? No.
Thank you. Keep going.
So
Keep going.
I'll give it. No, I wouldn't even say benefit of the doubt because there's no doubt. Like this isn't. I have a discussion and she seems like a nice girl and see where
But
this
what if
goes.
you find out she's there regularly? That's a regular thing.
If that's
to
like
you.
if
Does
that
that
that's her
change the whole-
lifestyle, yeah, of course.
Yeah,
but that's not my lifestyle.
Yeah, you got to think of the lifestyle too.
Exactly.
If
So
that's
I-
not you,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Because I always say lifestyle.
why
of a
is she
person.
there? She's there for fun. She's there for work. She's there to support one of her friends who's probably a DJ there. So it all depends on what it is that
Exactly.
why they're there.
If you're inclined to contemplating any kind of seriousness with her, then what Chris said applies first. Well, I'm not into the club scene. I just happened to be there that night,
right.
ran into her, whatever. So if she loves the club scene, loves to do this and that, then it just that shouldn't work.
Yeah,
but
because
I think
it
when
goes
you're
back to lifestyle what we're talking about.
yeah, that's
Like
huge.
you have that club promoter
But
thing.
to have that attitude, and I
roll.
think you kind of have that attitude, Gus. I'm not trying to be a dick and call you out on it. I think you have that attitude.
Yeah, in a
hopefully you
sense, in a
change it.
sense.
If you're at the club, that doesn't mean shit. If we all go to the club, we weren't at a club, but whatever. We were
you
somewhere
guys
that's
are fighters.
nice.
Like let's say you guys want to go out to celebrate because one of your boys just want to fight or whatever.
Yeah, it doesn't make us
does that
scumbags
mean-
if some chick meets us there.
Yeah,
See,
no.
You know the
for,
person.
for me, and it's probably a bad habit. Is like I won't take any girl there serious or talk to them because I'm like, these girls are trash, and it's a bad habit that I
That's
do that.
that's how you.
But you don't
that's how
even know
feel?
them.
Yeah, that's how,
Yeah,
that's
he
it.
really
I'm
does
like,
do that, yeah.
Yeah,
You don't
because
even
I
know
don't
them.
go. I exactly. I don't go out so often
But
that
you
I'm
don't-
like,
but
these
maybe
girls.
they're
You're
the
like-
same way. You don't know if they go out every week.
Exactly.
So
And
that's
I
something you
try
gotta
to
put
I try
aside.
to change that. I try
Yes.
to change that, but
But
I
at
don't.
least
I
you're
don't go
aware
out,
of it.
Yeah, I don't go out so regularly either way for me to be stuck in that predicament. But the times that I did, like before, I would see the girls there. I'm like, these girls are trash. I would never.
Have you ever met? Have you ever talked to someone that was there and like actually engaged
Nah.
to get a number?
No, never.
I met a girl. I mean, this is a lot younger, and she was younger, but whatever. Just because it's on topic, I met this girl that became my girlfriend, and we had an amazing relationship for about I don't know 10 months, maybe 9 to 10 months.
Yeah.
But she told me the minute I met her and we went on our first date, she told me, "Hey, understand this right away. By the end of the year, I plan to move back to Chicago. I'm gonna go over there with my dad. I'm moving away from Miami, blah blah blah. So whatever happens from here on out, just know that nothing's gonna stop that, blah blah blah."
Yes.
And I respected the hell out of it. Once again, brutal honesty is the best policy. But fast forward, I met her at the club, and I used to work the club. So she used to live that life. She was younger, but she was single, and she's young. and
Right.
no big deal. Then, I pretty much fell in love with her. She fell in love with me. We had a great relationship. She almost didn't want to go to Chicago. Anyhow, long story short, she did. But point is, I have
Guys
nothing.
cut it then?
I-
So
yeah,
how
yeah,
did
we
you guys
did.
end? Because she left to Chicago. That's what
Yeah,
you
she
said.
stuck to it, and we
I
went with
respect
it.
that.
We went with it.
Respect
And
that.
it wasn't easy, but we
Well,
went
what
with it.
happened to the relationship that you had with her?
We weren't trying to do long distance relationship. We kept in touch, and we were always amicable.
But you
and
still
then-
have, like a...
no, we don't. We're not even. That was years ago. That was about.
No, but at least right after, I mean, you guys understood. And you guys
Oh
were
yeah,
still
and
cool.
I saw her after that.
With the
She
idea.
came back to town like a year later, and we
Yeah.
hung out for about like a weekend. And But it was just an understanding. Again, it went back to what she told me from the beginning. Hey, don't expect nothing up to them. But those 9 to 10 months, we rocked out like we were the most solid couple ever. And it was dope. And my family knew her and everything. It was dope. And I still got nothing negative to say about her. And she was a club somewhat hopper to that at that point. And it didn't define her. It did not define her at all.
No, I know, I go to church Sundays, and I know girls who go to church every Sunday. And you think they're the best girl ever.
Yeah,
and
right.
They're far from
They're
it.
just washing their asses out.
He knows this. I go to church regularly. Sunday and Mondays, I'm always at church. I'm a very heavy believer, and I know girls that go. And I genuinely know them, and I'm like, I know what you do.
Exactly. I know what you're doing.
You're like, you can fool everybody else here, but I know who you are. Like, so and you're obviously there to get better. And
exactly.
It's not no judgment.
There's no judgment, and I respect the hell out of everybody. And if you go to the club every week, that's great. It's just not the lifestyle. And then a lot of times those girls are like a little younger. And when I was that age, bro, but
you'd be surprised, man. There's still people that are our age or older.
Exactly. And if that's
100%.
the case, great. Do your thing.
Way older than you and still doing
It's not my scene.
Right.
Especially here in Miami, like people they get sucked into that life and
you can't get out.
I don't understand.
Especially
I could
that
never
industry.
understand how people can do it.
No, bro.
I mean, a lot of it comes from the industry. Like, when you're in that industry of like either a restaurant or like a server, or like a bottle girl, like you just get sucked in. Like, and plus, like remember, like you fall asleep at like 6 a.m. when you finish working. So the only time you're awake is the same time that everyone else from that industry.
But also the people who
depends though.
But the people who fall in love with the going out, even if they don't work in the industry, those who just fall in love with, hey man, Friday, Saturday, I got to go out, I got to hit the club. I mean, we're no doctors, but I guarantee you, there's a psychological reasoning behind. Yeah, there's something behind that. Whether they 9 to 5 their asses off, and then from 6 to fucking 10, they're busy with work or kids or whatever. All they got, the only fucking remedy that they have to the rough life that they have is a Friday or Saturday night out. So they max it out.
That's escape. But like, I work in the service industry, and so I work. I wouldn't say nightlife because it's not like a club, but I still work in a restaurant that's like literally right next to a huge nightclub, and so it's like the people that I work with, like they love going on stuff like that, but that's just not me. It's not my thing. Yeah. Like I can go, I finish clocking out. They want to go out. I'm like, yo, I'll go home and go to sleep. But like that's just, I'm a different type of person. Like that's not for me. I'll be 27. I'm a grown as a.
Even when I was younger, I didn't find true enjoyment in it.
I mean, when I was younger, I had
my
phase.
I
had my phase where I would go to music festivals and I'll fucking wild out. I had to get that out of my system, and I'm glad I did. But now I'm like, yo, I'd rather be at home. Like I'm at home chilling, cooking, enjoying my evening, doing nothing, reading, writing. That's my thing. I like that. Or I don't know, brunch or whatever, cool. But like going out of the club at night, really getting.
I'd rather do the day drinking. Like that's my thing. Like I rather day drink, brunch.
Out,
be at the beach.
Exactly. Hear them.
And you're in bed by like 6 p.m.
Exactly. You can see if
the hangover hits at 7 p.m.
Yes. Like,
I love that part. Matter of fact, let's fucking annihilate that part right there that you guys just touched up on. Chris, you said it first, and Gus, you backed him up. You're able to see. You're able to see. When I mean that, I'm not referring to being impaired. No, you're impaired during the day too. But you can see these motherfuckers in the light, whether it's a guy or girl. But ladies right now, I'm aiming at you right now. So please pay attention. All that makeup shit, fucking stop.
Now the first date should always be at the beach. Take him to the beach the first day.
Oh, I like that.
That's why you can't hide.
No, and you know what I was
Don't
told
nobody
too,
go to the
is
beach on the first day.
You wear a black
t-shirt. That's got to be a confident shit.
You wear a black t-shirt. The reason why is when you say hi to them or anything, their makeup, so you can tell how much makeup they have on.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Bro,
that
makeup shit is, how do you guys feel about that, man? Because, okay, by the way, that's one of the 21 questions as well. Like, I think these girls, but I'm gonna put the blame on the fellas. These girls are out of hand with this makeup shit, and I think it's because guys aren't dropping their nuts and saying, babe, I don't fucking like that. That shit looks ugly. That shit looks caked up. You look like a completely different person. Now, if you're into it, hey, then guys, maybe one of you guys like makeup. You guys like the girl to get dolled up. Yeah. I bet you your mom used to get dolled up if that's what you're into. Huh? Right?
No.
Boom, got him.
So no, like, I mean, the girls that I've been dating, like that I was dating in the past, they weren't really heavy on makeup. They would do like a little bit of like whatever the fuck it is.
Eyeshadow, eyeliner.
Whatever, eyeliner, whatever. I don't even know. They would do a little bit, but they have more of like a natural beauty. And that, I mean, I love that. But I also at the same time, I don't really like, if you like putting on makeup for yourself, cool, by all means.
Yeah, like
I don't
a lot of
judge.
girls these days, especially with social media, like they're makeup artists. You
Yeah.
see
Yeah, they're
their
makeup
names.
artists.
It's like, here's
And
my
it's-
name, MUA.
And
makeup
it's like
artist.
it's like a talent
You know what I
of
mean?
them. It's like
So it's like
talent.
everybody wants to do it. Yeah, it's an art. And then, you know,
I
people, they
respect
just
that.
want
That's
to.
true.
There's a lot of dudes into it too.
Yeah, so I said it all.
Have you guys seen the process? Have you guys seen one of these girls that you guys?
Oh yeah, before and after.
Have
Yeah.
you- I mean, because I used to think that all they would do is just touch this, touch that, lip. No,
No,
they
this
they
is
literally
art.
they literally lay out.
It's art.
They lay out like fucking like if you were putting grass on new soil. They put big patches here, big patches there,
And
on
then
the
they blend it all
forehead,
together and
then,
create
yeah,
this.
then they do this, and that's the foundation. Then they do this, then they do. I mean, there is fucking work going on in
Oh,
there.
man, that's why the bill on some makeup is crazy.
That's why Mac is so rich right now.
Yeah, but like
Sephora's another one.
I don't know, bro. If you see me before and after getting a haircut, bro.
Yeah,
it's
bro.
the same shit.
I get a haircut, and you know this
Yeah,
every
I'm
Friday.
a different person.
But that's a haircut, guys. If a chick kept her shit nappy, we'd call it out too. You know, I mean, it's a haircut.
Yeah, but then there's girls that look better with their hair up and kind of messed up than with their hair done, and that's just my opinion. I've seen girls that have their hair done and down, and I'm like, I'm not digging that.
I mean,
I mean, at the end of the day, I would like to think that they do this for themselves rather than anybody else. So if they're happy with themselves,
You really believe that? This is what you just said,
Yeah.
Marv. Come on, they
I
do it
mean,
for themselves.
I hope so. I want to believe that because I get a haircut
but
for myself.
He's bringing up a good point because a lot of it is the attention that they'll get from.
Yeah.
But then it's like
How they
guys
look when they're wearing
But
makeup.
it's guys. Then, but why are
That's
they
not just
getting it?
for them.
It's guys feeding into that. If they post a picture of them wearing makeup, they got 500 likes.
So-
if they
so-
post a natural picture, they get like 100. So it's like that.
Oh, the cut. Close it out.
What's going on, crazy world? We are definitely going through some shit right now with this here coronavirus and all the madness going on with the elections and everything else involved. But hey, on a brighter note, you got the Black Sheep perspective to help you get by and get through it. So I really appreciate for you guys tuning in. Thank you for all the love and support. We can't get enough of giving you guys great content. But in order to do that, we got sponsors to help us pay the bills. We got sponsors to help me have a life where I can go ahead and produce this. And I want to give a big shout out to them right now, to the Driver Shop High Performance. These guys really did a great, magnificent wrap job on my truck. If you guys got a vehicle out there that you want to get a beautiful wrap on, you got a paint job wrap, you can just wrap your own logos, you can wrap any kind of advertisement. These people are the ones to go to. So Hector and company over there at the Driver Shop High Performance, thank you so much for making my truck look that much more beautiful. Huge shout out to the Using Seed for giving me this meal preps that I really need in my life. If you know you're pretty busy in life and there's other things that you want to do but you can't because you put in too much effort to taking care of yourself by eating healthy and prepping meals, well, why don't you give the Using Seed a chance? These guys got great prices, and even more important, they put out awesome, dope quality food. And then a huge shout out to Game Time Management. These people have really had my back since day one. They're helping me in the podcast and everything else that I'm going through with trying to project myself in a better place in this world and in the business world. And I definitely couldn't do it with them. So Gang Time Management, if you guys need help in your corner, if you're trying to make moves in your life and you need somebody to help you get there, why don't you give Gang Time Management a ring? Thank you for supporting us, guys. Stay in tune. We got so many big things coming up, and I hope that you guys are there for the whole journey. Let's get back to the podcast.
Go. All right. So the thing is, you have a lot of guys feeding into that shit. So it's like girls see it, like, okay, they get that feedback out of it, so they want to continue to do it, bro. So at the end of the day, the blame is also on guys who are feeding that shit.
So I think, look, I'm gonna be honest with you. It's not to cause ruckus.
No.
I think you're wrong, and the reason being is, here's the comparison.
Talk to me.
How many times do you know what a chick? By the way, I'm really controlling my mouth because bitch wants to come out of me so often, and that's something that I'm working on. It's not that I disrespect females on that. It's just something that I was bred to do. The same way I was used to saying niggas all the time. I stopped that. I don't talk to the fellas no more. It's a derogatory word, so I'm trying to tone all that down. But anyways, these females, the shoes they wear, that $400 pair of shoes, that $500 purse. Every one of us here on this table, except maybe Gus, because he's a little bougie at times, we give 3 fucks about what brand that is. We have no idea if it's fake, if it's real, or whatever.
Yeah. True.
We just want it to look cute with your outfit.
Yes.
We like when you match it. That's a red purse, you got red shoes, and a little red bowl. Cute. I like what you did there.
Right, yeah.
That's it.
Effort was put into
Don't know anything else. I don't know if it's Supreme, Cream, Go Fuck a Dream, whatever. It's red and white, and that's all, okay? These girls admit it. They do it for other females.
They do it for other girls. They don't do it for the guys.
So I think the
Because guys don't realize
I think the makeup's the same, bro.
Yeah, you may be right.
I don't think it's. I just think people, and you didn't say it to
You think it's
defend
like
them. I think people lean on that too much. Oh, he's working on his abs for himself. Oh, the fuck, he's not. Abs attracts females. Abs gets good looks. Abs, you're not into core because your lower back is fucking sore and you're working on your abs. No, I'm fucking putting these abs because I'm trying to advertise. Advertise. I want you motherfuckers to come because of my abs. So it's too easily said that you're doing it for themselves. Doing it for themselves is healthy lifestyle. Things that's going to make you progress as a human being, things of that nature. When it comes to these materialistic appearance type ordeal, physical things, I think it's for the other half.
Yes, I agree. The thing is, women compete with each other all the time.
Well, so do men, though.
Yeah.
Everything is a competition.
Yes, it's
in a day.
But like, bro, like girls want to show off. That's why girls want to get married. Girls want to have kids because they want to show it to their friends. I have this big ass ring. I have this beautiful kid. I have this big ass house. I have this big ass car. Like, I have the best husband. I have the best boyfriend. They love that shit. They feed off of that.
100%.
Yeah, I think women feed off of that, and it's not.
I feel like they do it more than men though.
Yeah, they do.
They
do
do
more.
showboat,
They do it more than men.
Yeah,
100%.
They'll show off a relationship that is
because they want to show that happiness, bro. I've been in that position, bro. I've seen it, and girls love that shit. They love showing.
Yeah, but it's still comparable. Like people will still, for example, like you've reposted these who I don't know who they are, but like people in a relationship, they have a kid, and it's like that's pretty much what the goal is. Like it's for that, so other people can see what they're doing.
No, I get it, but like that's why, like, dude, like a lot of women, they want to get that ring, they want to get that nice house, they like, oh, I want kids, I want to be married, I want that, like, I want to show to my friends that I'm happy. That's a lot of things. I feel like that's a big aspect of it. Do men do it too? Sure, of course they do.
I think human beings, especially with social media, we're just all way more inclined to want to get some type of
reaction.
Validation is what it is. Validation.
It goes both ways.
It's social media these days. Everybody wants to show, like they want. It's a flex. It's like, look what I can do. And like I said, it's a highlight reel.
People won't post the bad.
No, of course not. Nobody's
gonna post the bad.
Nobody shows the bad thing.
Okay, random question. You can dig into your list of another question.
I have just one more.
Okay, you want to get on there now? Good.
Yeah, I mean, since we're talking about the relationship aspect,
before you forget, make sure you don't forget.
Oh, I won't forget. I'm lying. I'm a weed head. I'll forget, but I'll come back.
Then write it down.
No, I don't. It's written down. Look at the size of my head.
So then why don't you ask?
Does an Android have that feature?
Oh God.
Boy.
Can you even see the Android from there, you little short shit?
Wait, before you start.
See, now he wants to fuck it up, you see? Go, before I forget.
Yeah. How old are you, by the way?
I'm going to forget,
just kidding.
Gus. I'm really going to forget.
No, let him go.
Go. Yeah, you will forget.
I'm literally going to forget like that.
Yeah,
I'm over here like worried. Oh, fuck, I'm going to forget. Keep thinking. Okay. So look, yeah, you guys are going to fuck me up right now like that.
All right, go.
We're like 3 drinks in. Come on.
Go.
Okay, so with
wait, you mean that's not coffee?
Here we go.
Fuck.
You meet a girl, right? And whether you heard from friends or even you knew it, or you just find out from her being brutally honest. I've been with a lot of guys. Okay. I used to be, in the words of Caballo, tremendo puta. Okay? Whatever. She was single, she was this, but she tells you straight up, hey, I haven't been in a relationship for a while. I used to be with this guy named Marvin, and he fucking wrote a book on me. And ever since then, I just been fucking around having fun. My pussy's clean. I got no diseases. Whatever. I kind of dig you, but I want to let you know about that before anything else. If you guys really feel her, if she is the what Marv's been looking for, what Chris has been looking for, you guys share so many things in common, whoop-de-woo, all that good stuff. She doesn't drop that bomb on you until you're 2-3 dates in, when you guys already spoke about, yo, man, I got this good girl, man, this, that, whatever. And then you find out, fuck, you know, she's used to be una puta.
Yeah.
Might have even told you she used to strip. Who knows? Whatever. And if she stripped, you better believe she puta.
I'm glad you upped the ante.
Yeah, if you strip, that's a different.
Because there you go. Because my response is the same, but I know his is gonna change.
Yeah, so it depends. Like if she's been with guys that I know, like homies.
No. She just told you. She just came from Arkansas. She came from Arkansas.
Like Eskimo brothers with one of your friends.
No. I'm saying that's a little bit different. No. I'm just saying
someone who's.
She's being blunt with you.
She's been around.
Yeah,
I respect that.
She said, we will never be nothing special if that's what we're going for unless I keep it 100 with you.
I respect
so
that.
I got to let you know X, Y, and Z. And then boom, she lets it go.
She had needs and she fulfilled those needs. A lot of guys do it too. I'm not an angel. I'm not going to be like, yo, I've only been with like 3 girls.
I'm touching the mic.
Mark, what are you're not rapping on the stage, man.
Yeah,
he's about to take that shit off and be like, let me tell you about these chicks right here, man.
I want to pop up. So no, I respect that. It has to be two-way street. So I respect that. Yeah.
Chris?
Whatever happened before me and you met,
He's
I don't
about to
care.
go in.
No, it's true.
No,
Look,
I'm
whatever
with you.
happened before today, where I met you, the hell does that have to do with me?
Boom.
Yeah,
Cheers.
you could have hung out, you could have banged whoever, you could have done even stripping, you could have done all that. If
Facts.
you're willing to change. Now that you're in a relationship, you want to give me everything. You want to be be.
What if it's like? What if she's like Mia Khalifa? She's like, yo, I banged on camera.
My response
fucked your
hasn't
best
changed.
friend. I
So-
fucked your best
so
friend.
that
I fucked
we-
your dad.
So we talked.
Jesus.
Okay,
Christ.
no. We said that wasn't a thing. That's
I'm
a.
asking you right now.
But that's different.
You went to the dad, though.
Yeah, come on,
That
dog.
changed
That's-
everything.
No, but like for example, like I've just banged a bunch of dudes, and some of it may have been on camera.
Okay.
For me, like we on the OnlyFans we had posted it on Friday. We kind of
Yeah.
got into OnlyFans going into the adult film industry, and I was still open to it because I'm like, you know what, that's your past. Yes, or you now have like a name and a face to you that you're recognizable. That's fine, but if you're willing, at the end of the day, any other girl that you meet has been fucked probably by a bunch of dudes.
multiple guys.
That just came out great.
By multiple dudes. But the only difference is that this is on camera, so now she's more recognizable. But even, let's say that you meet a porn star who's only had sex with 2 guys because she wanted a cast, because she needed money.
She was never a porn star. Let's get that right. I
Right,
hate that
no,
term.
no.
She did
That's
porn.
not-
Fine, she did porn,
Yeah.
right? But she was recorded and she was put out there and she's on any website.
Right.
And then a girl that you meet that's never done porn, but she's been fucked by, like, she's like, oh, my body count is at 36. You know what I mean? It's like, so...
It's not that bad. Damn.
No,
36.
but you start whatever. But you know that's a number
What?
that most guys would be. Look at his reaction. That's a number that make guys
Gus,
uncomfortable.
bro.
I'll be like,
But my point is, this girl did porn on camera and only had sex with less than 5 guys, and then you will talk to a girl that you meet at a club that's had sex with over 50.
Yeah.
So
So,
then
but
what-
you don't know it. You just
you
can
don't
assume
know
it.
it. Yeah, she just won't. Yeah. So then now I have to now say to this, this girl who's done porn because she was looking for a way to get money. Like that was her way that she probably had to feed herself.
Whatever it was. It might be a kink of hers. It might have
the
been whatever.
past.
Yeah,
You know
I
what?
agree.
Whatever you did, that has nothing to do with me. If you're willing to give me what a relationship requires, then I'm cool with it. I
Now,
don't
granted,
mind.
I think the obvious is that if you got any hints of her never leaving that side or her La Puta still coming out or whatever, then you'll be like, okay, this bitch hasn't changed. I'm
not
moving
ready.
on.
Yeah,
But you're willing.
But that
you're
has
willing.
nothing to do with you doing whatever you were doing. It's just that you want to continue doing it.
Right.
Now being in a relationship, obviously things have to
You
change.
got to think of the family aspect too. Like for me, it's a no go because then how is my family going to react?
yeah, but like, your family's not
Grandparents.
dating her. Your family's not
Beatrice,
dating her.
Betty, what are you gonna do when fucking Gus brings home?
Like a Mia
porn
Khalifa.
star.
Mia Khalifa.
You know,
Yeah, Google
Oh,
her.
talking about that. Oh, I could bring this up. Talking about Mia Khalifa. My mom's going to get pissed about this.
Oh, boy.
My mom, so my dad was on Only and Date. He's a cop. He was on Only and Date. And she's like, oh, I want to see the video. So I go on her phone to search. And I go on the search thing. I go, Mom, why'd you search up Mia Khalifa? She's like, who the hell is that? I go, it's a porn star. She goes, your little brother was using my phone. It's my 15-year-old brother. My 15-year-old brother. She starts screaming from the kitchen.
A true opportunity.
She starts screaming his name,
You
and she's like,
fucking
"Come here, you
snitch."
little pervert." She asks him. She goes, "Who's Mia Khalifa?" He looks at her, goes, "I don't know."
I don't know.
That messed that.
That wasn't me. Wasn't me.
I like that response, Chris. I think yours is good too. I get it, Marv. I like yours a little bit better. I think that's the mind frame that you should have.
Yeah.
I think if maybe this doesn't define, where your take is at. I know it defines where my take is at. I know I've done some shit that does not look good on me.
Right.
From
Yeah.
whether it's from a sexual aspect with females, being a dog. I was never a dog. That's a lie. When I say maybe, being sexually active, yeah, I've gotten around plenty. But
Right.
I never dirted chicks. I never shitted on them, tried them. That's never been me. There's not a chick. There's not a
Cleveland
chick
Steamer?
out there. What?
Cleveland Steamer
Cleveland Steamer. What's that?
said you shitted on chicks.
I never shitted. I said I never shitted.
Oh, but you mean like the real shit? Like you mean like squatting over them and
Are
stuff?
you trying to change the topic
Is
into that?
Is that what you
I've never
you
shitted
mean?
on chicks. No, stop watching Two Girls in a Cup. Tell your mom about that video,
Oh my
bro.
God.
That's,
Jesus.
Now she's gonna look it up.
Yeah.
Listen, the setup is right there.
That's
No,
bad.
but what I'm saying is that if you've been through the gutter, then you can relate to certain things, and you don't want somebody to look down on people who've been through the gutter because you've been through it. So
You wanna be a hypocrite.
Since I have slept around, since I've sold drugs, I've done a lot of illegal shit in the past. I will never do it again. I put myself through dumb shit. I put my family through shit I should have never put. But it is what it is. If you want to judge me on that, that's your dumb ass fault. You have the right to, because guess what? I'm crying, talking, walking, sounding like a duck. Maybe I am. But if you don't, good for you, because I'm bigger and better than that. I'm way past that. So I like to give people that benefit of doubt. speaking about females on that topic,
Sure.
maybe not just anybody, but so I'm more on where you're standing on that.
Yeah,
so,
it's just everyone has
Okay.
their own opinion, and so they want to kind of judge sometimes based on their opinion. But guess what? So do we.
Yeah.
So if we believe a different way, we can speak it if we want to, even if you don't agree. So it's like you just have to be, cool with who you are and cool with what you're doing, because it shouldn't be you shouldn't be judged negatively. You got to believe whatever it is that you want to believe for yourself, and be okay with that. So you can't be mad or feel weird if
Right.
it's someone who's doing something that you
Yeah.
don't agree with. You never know who they could become. They're just kind of in a situation that
100%.
they're
I can agree
forced
with
to,
that.
you know?
what was that question that you had, Gus?
Yeah. So the last one before
Oh,
we
that's
close
right.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So close it.
I guess I mean, there's a lot of aspects to it, but you guys will obviously have a lot of, like, when do you believe a relationship becomes an official relationship? Like,
That's a good question. Yeah, that's a good one, because a lot of girls want that official.
That shit gets really silly, man.
Is that what
That's a
you're leaning
fucking-
towards? Like,
Yeah.
whether it's like, does the guy have to ask the girl?
yeah,
for it to be
yeah,
official,
like,
or is it a
yeah. Like, when does it become an official? Like, when does both parties think, okay, it's official, or do I have to ask to make it official? Or,
Yeah.
or at what point in the talking stage does it make it already official? Does the sex make it official? Does the always going out make
Okay.
it official?
Yeah, I feel like the sex does not make it official.
Yeah,
It makes it
it's
official.
coming from a guy who's
Yeah.
probably
It makes it official.
suffocating under a pile of women.
Oh, yeah. It makes it official when you make it official. When you say, "Hey, are we mutually exclusive?" I'm a like more traditional guy. I ask the girl out like, "Hey, do you want to be my girlfriend?" But I'm also like, I'm 27. So
Marvin, stop.
Yeah,
Marvin.
yeah, I know.
Stop,
But like,
stop.
am I gonna do this when I'm like 30 years old or something? No, it's different with that age.
The last time you had a girlfriend, you literally asked her, "Hey, do you want to be my girlfriend?"
I did. Both times. I've been in two relationships, and both times I asked. Once I was 22.
I mean, my last one I did, but I was 19, 20.
Yeah. 22 and like 20.
20, I was 20.
I'm more like, "Hey, man, listen. You know we're together now, right?
You like tell him.
you know this shit's serious,
Have you
right?"
seen that video of Will Smith? Have you seen the video of Will Smith that he's like, "Oh, I was talking to Jada, which is his wife,"
Right.
and he's like, "Oh, are you seeing anybody?" She's like, "No," and he's like, "Oh, okay, cool. You're seeing me now." And
That's
they've
it.
been married ever since. You know, like they got married.
It depends also on the age, but like you have to have that conversation. I don't care if it's, hey, we're
Yeah, of
mutually
course.
exclusive. Hey, you want to be my girlfriend? Hey,
But at what point does that make it? Is it because you guys are going out all the time, or you guys are having sex? Do you think the sex makes it a fit? For me,
Is this
for
like,
me-
do you need? Are you asking for a friend? Or are you asking for yourself?
I'm
asking for a friend?
I'm asking for the broad
For the
shoulders of
population.
men,
For the people.
For the
for the
population.
people, for the population.
I don't think sex makes it official
This
because
guy's
you
a
can have sex.
Yeah.
You can have sex on the first date or the second date or the third date. That doesn't mean that you're mutually
Now,
exclusive.
you saying that, are you still taking the girl serious if she puts out so early?
Yeah, of
Oh,
course.
we had this.
Yeah,
Careful
we had.
with the behind you.
Yeah.
that whiskey's starting to kick his ass.
Yeah. I'm old.
He's becoming a rapper. He's becoming
Yeah,
fucking
I'm
swinging
old,
and
yeah.
shit.
Yes, I do. Like if I'm having sex with a girl on the first date, it's a two-way street. Like she's
Yeah.
not having sex for
Yeah,
herself.
we had that episode out.
Yeah,
too.
we do. And it's, yeah, of course, but we're fucking adults. We're not fucking kids.
Yeah,
anymore.
exactly.
That's not how he thinks. He's trying to switch that.
Yeah, he's
No, I never said. I mean, for me, I do lose a certain.
no.
I mean, I won't put myself in that
you.
predicament to begin with.
So you wouldn't have sex on the first date to begin with.
I wouldn't put myself to. A
It depends on the guy.
That's not what.
It-
Oh my god.
Yeah, Betty, I just said that. I'm sorry to keep bringing your name up.
The truth comes out.
No, I wouldn't put myself because I know what type. Like automatically, I know what girls during the date are just like leaning towards that.
But what if you?
And I'm not
but
saying
like,
that hasn't happened.
Are you
like,
not
I
gonna take
haven't
him
on the-
serious after?
But you
with-
know, how
after-
do you
no.
know that?
Why
if-
not?
No,
See,
how
that's
do you know
bad.
that?
But why not?
You're both adults, dude. You're not 18
You
years
got
old
needs.
anymore.
She's got needs. Like, what's the problem with you having sex on the first
If
date?
she feels you, you feel her, and you
Yeah,
guys-
what if the connection is indescribable? You know, and it may just be for that one night where you think it's something. But
Well,
it's
you know
not.
what?
You
How
might
about
get the
listen?
next
How
day.
about this? As
I mean,
much as-
no. Let him because
No, you know, but he's
agree.
right. But and you're totally right. And then anybody can be. But I know who's gonna debunk you. Oh, because you're drunk. Oh, it was just one night. You never know. Here's my thing. Even if she was puteando for that fucking night, because she don't know you,
Yeah.
She don't know there's gonna be anything serious.
Well, what did I just
She's
say?
just an adult doing her thing.
Whatever happened before you doesn't matter. But maybe you're just part of that line where you're what she's always used to, but then she changes because she met you.
Hey, we had drunken sex last night on our first date. You must think this and that. Women, not really, but that was fun. This and that. You want to go do breakfast? Sure.
Yeah.
Breakfast goes fucking awesome. What do you got planned for the rest of the day? Nothing. Want to take a ride to the beach? Sure. Fucking the beach is amazing. You're filming a movie right now.
How many times have you done that?
It hasn't happened, bro. These bitches be doing me. Things.
Ain't got no bitches. No, but it could happen. It could happen. I wouldn't.
They stay in bed, and I'm like, yo, what the fuck?
Hey!
Get your lazy ass up. I gotta go to work.
Get the fuck out of here. No, but like I wouldn't shoot somebody down just because they had
you
sex with me in
shouldn't.
the first date. Because it's a two-way street. Are they gonna shoot me down? Like, would they treat me differently? You shouldn't. You know, like we're both adults.
I get you. Yeah, it is a two-way street. You
I
guys
get
both
what you're
chose
saying.
Yeah, you
that.
made the decision.
It's not
too,
like you were
so-
forced into
And
it.
not only that, because
Yes.
there's a double standard to having sex on the first day. Like the girl automatically, she's supposed to look like a slut because
And the guys
she
are-
did, and the guy's like, cool. Oh
Like a
yeah.
winner.
Well, there's a saying. It's like, oh, what's more effective? A key that can unlock any lock,
I get that.
or a
I-
lock that can
get
be
that.
unlocked by any key.
No, I
you
get
know what
that.
I mean.
Yeah.
So obviously, there's that double standard.
Yeah.
Like that line.
Yeah, right.
That's a good one.
There's a double
Yeah.
standard, but at the same time, it's like, you know what? Like, we're adults now, and people have needs, and you know they just want to go out. So some girls would go out just to bang a dude because they want to. Doesn't mean that they're a slut. You know, it all depends on how you handle yourself after. If you're gonna be like, oh no, it never happened. Like, no, come on, you wanted to do it. Own up to it. You know,
I like that. I
you're
like
an
that.
adult,
You know,
Yeah.
I think the key thing that we've been talking about this whole time probably it'll bring success to you in your life just as an individual on an everyday basis. It's definitely bringing success to you guys with what you're trying to accomplish with the podcast and your whole approach to it. And this is the Black Sheep perspective is the same way. Clear and unfucking cut, raw and uncut,
Yeah.
brutal honesty. If you are all that with your approach in life, with everything that you do, 95% of the times you're gonna get the best results. Because you're everything's clear and uncut. It's transparent. The more transparent you are, the better. And then everything unfolds from there.
Right.
It's when people back to the makeup. It's when people hide behind the mask when they they do these type of things when they're ashamed of doing. It's like a guy who does steroids, bro. If you do steroids, own that shit.
Right.
Own that
Right.
shit. You don't got muscles because you did steroids.
Yeah.
You just recover quicker. You got bigger muscles, but you still got to go put in the work.
Yeah.
But don't look like a fucking mammoth. And dude, I never touched that shit.
Nah, I'm natural.
That's that's an ugly look.
It's
Yeah,
stupid.
that's an ugly look. I think
Because then when you get exposed, now you just look dumb.
and then everything's downhill from there. Again, transparency is the best thing, man. And I'll tell you what, man, I love that these type of topics just that quick, and we're over here talking about like, fuck, we gotta shut this shit down. We're all talking about, damn, dog, it's already been almost 3 hours, and we got another podcast we got to do. Can't wait to do that with Too Nice and Sergio. But these are the type of topics that are gonna cause a lot of great feedback. A lot of engagement with your audience. It's going to have so many different opinions, which just makes for great topics, just great conversation, great organic. Well, hey, you feel like this and you feel like that. And I think it's going to really help people because I think too many people live behind, I don't know, man, a fake-ass white picket fence.
Yeah.
And that's not really what life is like, and especially when it comes to relationships, And I think that podcasts like this, fellas like you guys, especially, you guys are in that nice mid-young. You're not young like Gus, which I think Gus is very mature for his age, though he's still very young. You guys are at that really good
we
range.
crossed the threshold.
Exactly,
Yes.
'cause-
Too
That
young
sweet
to-
spot.
you're right.
30s is the shit, bro. Take it from me.
I know.
30s is the shit,
Yeah,
and
everyone says the
you
same
guys are advanced 30. You before there, you're already there. So when you
We're
get
flirting
there,
with 30, so
Oh,
we're
yeah,
preparing
yeah.
ourselves for
but
that.
you guys are gonna get there in suit and tie, ready to take it on, and it shows. It shows from the the demeanor you guys have and the way you guys talk, and obviously the experiences that you've been through, Marv, and what you did with your book and everything else, and what you guys got going on in this collaboration, bro. I know that we would love to be on the show when you guys start having guests.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Or
We're
we-
working towards it.
Or
We're
we
working
just do
towards
this again, bro, and we fucking,
love to
have another topic, have another hot, I know something that we're gonna do is, again, I told you about the 21 questions. We're gonna have the response by fellas. So you motherfuckers are coming back, and we're gonna have your responses. Once we get about 3 or 4 different segments done by the ladies, you guys will look at them and it's like, all right, it's time to answer back. Let's let them know how we feel.
Let's do it.
Yeah, exactly. So, guys, it's been awesome, man. Before we close this thing out, let's give every plug that we can. Where can everybody follow you guys at individually on your personal IGs, Twitters if you got them? Where can they follow you at with your travel page, which you got to step that thing up.
Absolutely.
I really dig that thing.
Thank
You got to do more with that. I really dig that. And then, of course, the book reference and everything else. Tell everybody listening how they can catch up a little bit more with you.
Yeah, for sure. The Coffee Breakup, our podcast is on Instagram, Twitter, at the Coffee Breakup.
Yeah, if you find us on Instagram at the Coffee Breakup, you'll
see the link.
We have a link tree on our bio, which will kind of feed off to everyone. We're on our Facebook, Twitter, SoundCloud, Deezer app, which is more popular over in Europe for the actual podcast audio. We're on Spotify and iTunes. Like,
we got to do whatever that is. Deezer app.
Yeah, they're more popular in Europe.
Thank you for that.
Yeah,
and South America and stuff like that. For my travel, if you like traveling, Embrace the Layover on Instagram.
Yeah, at Embrace the Layover, which is ETL, which ties into his personal.
Yeah. And then my personal is mschultz _ at ETL, like ETL.
Yeah, mine's Viera Bro. So, and everyone's like, oh, do you follow, what's your Instagram name? It's Viera Bro.
Yeah.
That's why I did that. What is it? It's Viera Bro.
I like that.
Oh,
Cool. And then when you guys plan to drop the next one?
Friday.
Yeah, so we
It's always
post
Friday.
every single day to feeding up until Friday, which is the actual launch
New
of
episodes.
the new episode.
Yeah.
So Friday morning, 8 in the morning, right around 8:30 is a sweet spot. You can go on and you can either listen to us on your way to work or when you first get to work where it's a little slow, everyone's like punching in and stuff. You can watch us on YouTube as well.
Absolutely.
I hope everybody listening starts following these guys. Like, for real, they're legit. They got great advice. They got great conversation. They're very articulate. These aren't two bums just talking shit. And that's for real. That's for real. I'm the one who's called these women bitches more than anybody else here. And I'm like, fuck, I went there. Fuck. Ladies, it's just a thing. It's nothing. It's nothing
personal.
Yeah, nothing big deal. By the way, in a crazy fashion, we didn't talk about the last topic you guys were talking about what the fuck was it? About the pictures. What'd you call it? The
OnlyFans.
Yeah, but then you guys said that you guys should just do OnlyFans shit and put your dick in the fucking cup and. Remember that?
Yeah. He's gonna put a poll on his Twitter like he always does to see who would subscribe.
Subscribe.
Gus, anybody you want to reach out to before we close this thing out, brother?
No, I shouted out the sponsors yesterday. Can't really come into mind right now.
We had a great time last night celebrating Yuli's birthday. You guys make sure you follow Yuli the Monster Diaz and birthday celebration for him. Happy birthday, my brother. It was a great time. Shout out to Game Time Management, man. We got a lot of big things.
Shout
going
out to
on.
everybody, man. It's a lot of people nowadays are envious and don't support the people you went to school with, people you went to college with.
That's how this started.
I'm the type of person, and I'm like this because of Yuli and everybody I surround myself with. I want everybody to win.
Yeah.
I'm not the type that I want to do better than them. No, man. Support everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody. You make it. You boost yourself up. You boost the other person next to you, and it's all a winning circle, man. It doesn't have to be a lonely race. You guys can make it together, and it's definitely so. Just repost, comment, just watch.
Whenever
the video,
I
give
repost
feedback.
one of my buddies, I always put on top of their pages like support your friends, support their business, support their hustle.
Support the hustle.
I do that for everyone. Like if I repost someone because we're all we got. And we're all on the same mission to grow and to learn.
Support the hustle, man.
Yeah, like you said earlier, you can't do everything by yourself.
No,
Everybody
way.
uses someone. Or they have someone else to get you there. Remember those people and be able to support them while you see them, up, grow.
That's a great way to fucking close this thing out, man. If you guys are listening, man, do that. Don't just shake your head. Do it. Go show your support.
You'd be surprised how much just one repost from one of your old friends can mean.
It's because not everybody follows you that person follows.
It's all a movement, guys.
It's
Support
just
the
the effort.
movement. Hey, listen, the coronavirus is out. The world is in a bad place. We're trying to do what we can.
Yeah.
In our own little ways to make things, better, comfortable, enjoyable, comical, everything in between. We're just doing our part. That's all. No negativity, all positivity, and the best way to support that is by spreading the love. So, fellas, I'm so glad we did this, man. One last cheers, guys. It's been great to have you guys. Well, I think Marvin is. Me and you still got a little bit left. Salud. Thank you for coming, man. Can't wait to have you guys back. Everybody out there, man, show some love. Show your support. Go follow them. Go follow us. Make sure you wash your fucking hands. Don't be dirty. And we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
Thank you.